Brown cow.
Uh-oh.
That's racist.
Oh,
It's always the Jews. It's always the Jews.
we're live. The countdown said nope, no countdown. So a great way to start it. So everybody, welcome.
Brown cow, chalky milk. Come on in now.
You think brown cows are where chocolate milk comes from?
Yeah, bro.
Where else
That
would
would
we
be the
go?
best
Strong opening
conspiracy
for
that
the
we
conspiracy
figured
theory
out,
episode.
Yeah.
All right, first topic is does chocolate milk come from brown cows? No. Welcome to the Free State Podcast, everybody. We have a I don't think it's very special. It's just going to be a crazy show. I want to apologize to Sanja because this is the first time that I'm interacting with her, and she is here with this motley crew of people. So I appreciate her willingness to join in on this. So let me introduce everybody, and I'll let you introduce yourselves too, I guess. So we have Travis Larrell. He is the treasurer of the Libertarian Party of Maryland and a fellow conspiracy theorist. Travis, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Hi, Travis.
We have Alex Schlegel of Punk Rock Libertarians and the vice chair of the Libertarian Party of Maryland. Alex, how you doing?
Good, man. We're going to get so many memberships after this podcast.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. We have Alan Lemp, who is based, and that's where I'm going to stop it. Alan, how you doing?
Doing great. Y'all better be drinking your motherfucking water.
Mine has alcohol in it, but yes.
Yeah.
Sanja, how you doing? Again, thank you for coming, and hopefully I can get you to come back on for one-on-one sometime because you're the only other, self-described agorist here besides myself. So thank you for coming. How you doing?
Super happy to be here.
Good. Dougie B, he is back from Wyoming, back in the civilized world of Maryland, yet communist. Doug, how you doing?
Doing good. I saw a lot less bison than I thought I would, and I feel cheated. So fuck Wyoming. There you go.
Good. Very good. We have Chris Bootleg Darnell. He is vice chair of Libertarian Party of Tennessee and the host of Not a Real Libertarian podcast, along with his much better half, and Mountain Mama, aka Mountain Mama.
Tag. Thank you.
All right, I'm bootleg. I'm an alcoholic. Let me fix her name tag real quick.
He's gonna throw my name up there real quick.
It's
and then
misogyny.
Then we have
half. You don't need a name. Don't worry about it.
You're here. That's what matters.
She only gets 7/10 of a name tag.
Then we have Jacob Johnson from Rise to Liberty. Brother, how you doing? Thanks for coming on.
What, I don't get my LP positions mentioned?
So what are you? What is your LP position?
So I'm actually chairman of my county affiliate, and I'm the communications director for the state of Utah.
Nice. Good.
So-
Very good. Very based.
So
And,
ruined the whole party in one stream.
And Mises organizer too, so you're
yeah,
the devil.
Yeah, exactly. I just get everyone pissed off. So
well, you're not the only Mises organizer in this room.
980.
So you're not
I mean,
alone in
that's
that.
kind of the bottom of my list right now because I'm trying to keep the state party afloat. So
Respect. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. And so let's get right into it because this is either going to go swell or it's going to go absolutely horrible. So I just want to start off with this one because it's very prevalent, and I see it all over Twitter. I see all these QAnon MAGA people talking about it, and that is the aerial weapons that destroyed Maui, and that Blue is immune to this destruction. The what do they call it? Destructive something weapons. What are they called? The
direct energy weapon.
Yeah, the direct energy weapons. So let's start off with that. So, and let's stick it to Maui because there's all these videos of blue umbrellas, blue cars, blue roof houses. Oprah has a blue house and it saved it. Let me add. I knew I was forgetting someone. Let me introduce
Here.
nice.
Dickie Walnuts. From what I understand, you are the executive producer of the Tower Gang podcast, correct, sir?
More or less, yeah. I'm also drunk as shit. I'm going about 35 speed limit. So let me get home.
Yes.
And, does that sound good?
It sounds great.
Yes.
He's one of us.
This is our guy.
This is the perfect final guest.
You have been vetted.
One of us.
assimilate or die. Or you might die trying to assimilate.
All right, here we go. All right, so
I
what do
will
you
say
guys
there were
think?
Very,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say,
Go
there's
ahead.
like when you first brought up the do, varying head nods from everybody on this panel right now. We had some going like this, we had some going like this. So where are we gonna start?
All right, let's just go around the table. Let's start. Let's start with Travis. Travis, what is your opinion on the direct energy weapons and blue being sacrificed from the attacks in Maui?
See, blue doesn't make sense to me. I played with lasers a little bit. You could absolutely start a fire at a distance with those. So I think you absolutely could start fires remotely. But I would expect chrome to be the safe color, not blue, because chrome's reflective.
All right. Alex, what do you think about dews? The Maui dews.
I think they've been used in the past. California wildfires. I think they exist. Whether or not they were used or not, I don't know. But it does seem a little fishy. I mean, I think it was on PRL last week. Mises Caucus put out that History Channel video of a direct energy weapon, like on the front of a U.S. Air Force plane. I mean, I think they exist. Whether or not they were used, I don't know. Could just be like total malfeasance and just government bureaucracy and so many layers of ineptitude that led to these fires as well. But they exist. I think direct energy weapons exist.
So, what makes you think that Maui wasn't the use of direct energy weapons?
Just like wildfires, they do get wildfires quite often. They say it was pretty dry. The power grid, the fact that they've gone all, I think something like, I mean, one thing that gets me is like, why the fuck did these cars just burn to like nothing? You know, it just seems like it's way too hot for wildfires for things to just be burnt out. But then I heard a statistic that Hawaii has the highest amount of electric cars. So who knows with those like batteries.
Well, have you seen the pictures of like houses that are burned down, but the grass is untouched? Now I get it, like wet grass could maybe not burn, but if it's enough to scorch cars and homes, live palm trees, why isn't the grass burnt up?
They also didn't have the water because all the system got shut off. So fire hydrants were dry. Where were they getting the water to water their grass?
Well, why was there grass green? Was it wet there? I mean, this is why this is very. I don't think it was direct energy weapons. I don't, because that just seems like a way too competent of a thing for our government to do. Like, it's just way too many things have to line up perfectly in order for that to happen. And I don't agree. I don't believe that, the government is trying to turn this into a 15-minute city. They might. I mean, they're trying to turn all cities into a 15-minute city, honestly. But I don't think that direct energy weapons were used in order for this to burn down. Now,
I don't think they needed to use DEWs to do that. I think it's just much more simple. You can just, arson's been around forever. Like, they just did that. That's what happened. Like, I think it was much more simple than DEWs. I'm not saying DEWs don't or can't exist. I have background in chemistry and physics. I know very well they can exist, and they do exist. But I don't think that was necessary for this to work. I haven't looked in enough to like the blue part of the conspiracy theory, like whether that was, I don't know. I'm not going to speak to it. I don't know about it. But in terms of the probability of the government being involved, I don't know if it's like direct federal agencies or just like land developers in bed with the government that did it. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And here's the thing. We shouldn't really be talking about what started it. We should be talking about how it was handled and how people were blocked from being able to leave.
Yes.
How
Yes.
the signal wasn't sent out for the tsunami signaling system, how they didn't evacuate elderly centers or nursing homes or anything, how they sent kids home in the middle of the day knowing something was going to happen and didn't notify any parents and didn't close businesses and have them go home and be able to take care of their kids. And the list goes on and on and on. Whether it was started by the government or a natural situation, that really doesn't matter. How it is handled afterwards, that's the real conspiracy theory there and the real bullshit that really should be focused on. I mean, literally, there's one road in and out, and it was blocked from leaving. It wasn't blocked from coming in. It was blocked from leaving and coming in. And the only people that survived going down that road are the people that mass non-complied and went around that barricade to save their own lives. There were people in the water for over 14 hours waiting for assistance.
Yeah, Alex, I have to agree with you there. That's the exact point I was going to make. And my conspiracy is that this was a population reduction and land clearing tactic. Because if you actually look at how this was handled, exactly what you're saying, there's no possible way all of these failures happened all at once by accident. If the system completely fucking failed and the only way that people survive is to completely go against every little thing that you said, that's a little too perfect. Like I'm in the Army National Guard, so I'm probably going to get discharged after this. But at the same time, it's like, but the thing is, even when we are an absolute shit show, we still get one or two things right. Like, it's one of those things where I just cannot believe that it was not only that the 1%ers' houses were saved, that the government donors' houses were all saved while all the poor people died. Like, I can't believe any of that without thinking this was a direct thing this was a deliberate land grab / population reduction measure.
They were waiting for a situation like this to happen. They had the playbook. They're ready to sacrifice lives. They're ready to ruin everybody's lives in that part of town. They were just waiting for the right situation to happen and took full advantage of it. They had to bring fucking cadaver dogs in to find out if they were walking on ashes or human remains. Think about that.
Wow.
That's a hell of a fire.
I'm curious. Has anyone heard from Ohio recently?
Yeah, you're hearing from Ohio right now.
That?
Okay. So
You're the whole state?
It's still there.
It's all me.
Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, at least Hawaii got $700, which is still it's a slap in the face. But I just think
well, have we has anybody heard about this story? Now, I've only seen it a few times. It could be completely untrue, but has anybody heard about that story where a group of Marines pretty much stopped a bunch of FEMA workers from mass burying a bunch of dead people somewhere in the jungle, a remote? It turned into like a gun battle, and they shot down some helicopter. It was in some state reserve, some state park. Has anybody else heard about that story?
No.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I didn't really give it too much credit.
Like recently?
No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This was like the other day.
The Marines get to have
It's
all
like
the
the same
fun.
thing like the aliens in the jungle thing.
No, it didn't have to do with aliens. What it was just Marines that were sent there to help, or they were stationed there. I'm not sure which. Came across a bunch of FEMA workers that were doing a mass burial. They had a bulldozer. They were in a state park in the middle of nowhere, and they were burying a bunch of bodies. I was just wondering if anybody's heard about that.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, you wouldn't need a mass burial for a bunch of ash, right? There wasn't really any bodies left. That's why they had to bring cadaver dogs in. So I kind of call bullshit on that. But I do know there was a bunch of boats that were breaking through barricades to bring supplies in for people, because FEMA and other government agencies were blocking off the coast for anybody to be able to come in and bring help. And of course, they didn't stop any of the tourism on the other side of the island. So these people that were still having to organize and break through these water barricades just to bring in water, food, and other supplies to help and get people out of there had to fucking take people diving and scuba diving and shit like that the next morning at 6 a.m.
So, hear this out, right?
I mean, the way I see it, like, regardless of like whether or not it's DEW, like if you take that out of the equation, either the government fucked up or the government fucked up on purpose. Those are the two things. So either they like just fucked up like really badly by accident because it's the government, and now like if you want to look at like all the DEW stuff, like what I'm seeing through like mostly like MAGA Twitter, all of that, who like they share a variety of sometimes fairly crazy stuff. So it's kind of getting mixed in with that. So I kind of feel like that's on purpose to discredit all of the actual DEW stuff. So whether like this would be a situation where they didn't actually use it this time, but they're like, let's go like push this, and it'll make everyone like think it's a crazy thing, but it's actually real. And we're
So
actually
you're telling me you don't trust the plan?
The white hats aren't in charge.
The plan's working exactly how it was designed to. I mean, and most situations where the government fucks up, they fucked up on purpose because they want to create a problem to have a solution that grows power, that grows authority, that grows
And
more
funding.
extortion over taxes. Yep, more extortion over taxes. That's really what they do. It's a pretty simple MO that they have on their playbook, and they do it every single fucking time. It's the reason why Joe Biden didn't even visit Hawaii for over 2 weeks after this happened, but was preemptively sending supplies and resources to Southern California for a fucking heavy rain.
What are your thoughts about this? Do you think? So I stumbled across it on Twitter today, and is Hawaii even a state? Are they a territory?
Yeah.
Were they
No,
annexed?
it's a full blown state. They became a state in the 70s.
1959.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It's not Puerto Rico.
to go back to like the land, I think this is just a total land grab on the part of BlackRock, the elites, probably like just to clear the land. But I don't know. There's so many layers to this but I think there was failures on so many levels. Yet direct energy weapons exist. Whether they were used, I don't think so in this case. I think it was just a total bunch of just failures upon top of failures on top of failures, and this was planned and coordinated to clear the land, to get people off this land. I mean, insurances aren't going to cover this. And the governor, I think the governor's been on record in Hawaii saying like, "Oh yeah, the government's going to buy up all this land." So
convenient.
Yes.
Weird.
So hear this
again.
out, right? Good.
No, go ahead.
So hear this out, right? So I think Marjorie Taylor Greene let it slip. It is in fact a Jewish space laser. Here's the real question: can anyone attest to where Spike Cohen was when the fire started? No, I didn't think so.
Right.
So the Spike Cohen's favorite color, blue. I don't know if that's true, but we're going to say it is. So Spike Cohen started not only the fire in Hawaii, but probably California as
This
well.
is getting creepy.
And I've asked him about it on camera. He said yes. So is it Spike Cohen? I don't know. Probably. I mean, any brony.
I mean, here's the thing. Even if it wasn't Spike Cohen, he might know the guy.
He
that
knows who it
actually
is.
did.
Yeah.
He knows a guy. He knows a guy who knows a guy.
Well,
And
Spike
Hawaii
Cohen
doesn't have
also
salmon,
knows
so he's like,
likes
fuck
salmon.
Hawaii. Like,
First of all,
It's
first of all, Spike only deals with bazookas, right? There's a reason why he's the bazooka Jew.
It's a
so
bazooka
maybe-
laser, okay?
Yeah. So,
he's the BJ.
I mean, I don't think a laser is his choice. He likes the action. He likes the recoil. He likes to see things go boom. I mean, who doesn't? Honestly, I don't think there's a single person on here that doesn't fucking like to blow shit up. Did I hear just ketchup or gazpacho? What was that?
yes.
She said she can make
I
a
can make
joke
such
right
a
now,
bad
but she
joke
doesn't
right now,
want
but I'm
to.
not going to.
She
Oh,
should.
please
but-
do.
I'm running for office one day. I can't.
All right,
That's
so
my
What you're
problem.
doing here?
bootleg, make it for her.
Mhm.
I don't know what joke it is. Oh, yes. She says if it has to be a Jewish space laser. That's why everything was turned to ash. It's payback.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, good call.
Moses. All right, get it right.
So now Klaus Schwab was the reason behind this.
It was a conspiracy of Spike Cohen and Klaus Schwab working together to destroy Maui. So why did nothing blue get destroyed? That's what I want to know is why did blue things not get destroyed?
Eiffel 47 warned us years ago. 57. They warned us years ago with the song. I'm blue.
Oh, yeah,
God's
the blue
favorite
song.
color is clearly blue. That's why the sky is blue. That's why oceans are blue.
We're the blue planet.
They really we're the pale blue dot. So it's one of those. Yeah, God's favorite color is blue. We have
Two
officially
blue
figured it out.
balls.
Does anyone have like friends that have photos of like the blue thing? Because I look at that and I'm like, I don't trust anything I see online anymore. Like, is that really like
Everything is a psyop.
everything?
Yeah,
I'm
everything's a
piggyback on
psyop.
her
And I
question.
was
Like,
I found a video. I was trying to find it. I found it on like Like it might have been Twitter, it might have been TikTok, where it was somebody had a laser and they had like a green, a blue, a yellow, and a red cloth or something like that, and they were just running it across the cloths, and when it got to the blue one, it didn't burn. And apparently they can change frequencies so that it doesn't burn a certain colored, something on a certain spectrum.
Right.
It doesn't
But
burn those.
To also prove their demonstration and make it creepier than it needs to be, they could have cherry picked the frequency at which they did that at. So like,
Yeah, it's very true. Absolutely. But it is odd because there is a bunch of pictures and videos, and granted, it could be faked. It absolutely could be. But you have cars that are blue that aren't burned. You have umbrellas, like beach umbrellas, that are blue that aren't burned. You have homes that are, at least the roof is blue, and they're not burned. And
I mean, if there's a bunch of memes being made about it, it's probably true.
It probably is true.
We'll find out in 3 months that the lead FBI investigator for the Epstein case had the black book with him in Hawaii, and it magically burnt down with everything else before he could save it. And now, boom, black book's gone.
Yeah.
So
I really, honestly, I think what happened is that if they did use a laser, Hunter Biden was behind it, and they dropped a bunch of crack on the beach, and they were just trying to get everybody to smoke it all at once.
He got gypped by a child prostitute there, and he had to get the payback, so he just burned her island down.
He said, we could drop it in a volcano and smoke it that way, or we could put it underneath and use the Jewish space laser to fucking ignite it. And we'll all just be cracked out forever. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How deep does this go? No, I mean,
that's the theory I'm going to stand behind. Put my foot down. It's
probably the magnifying glass that a congressperson uses to read a fucking newspaper with. That's probably what started it. They use the glass from the Hubble.
They don't read anything.
Diane Feinstein style magnifying glass when she's not in the hospital from falling.
That's what it was. She fell and her crusty ass old bones rubbed together and started a friction fire.
I've got to figure it out. PolitiFact has already fact checked this.
Yeah, when I'm asked like the one thing I want to bring with me to a deserted island, it's Diane Feinstein.
Yes.
Rubber joints together. Got a good old fire right there.
You can only bring 3 things to survive.
That leathery skin.
Well, I mean, that
Diane,
way,
whatever her middle name is, Feinstein. There you go.
Yeah. If there's any local predators on the island, if there's any local wildlife that's going to go after you, you definitely just kick her in the knee and run.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And the bones that are left, use them to start the
Blow on her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's your sail. You just blow on Diane Feinstein.
That old
like
floppy
Thanos.
skin.
Yeah.
Just grab her saggy titties and use them as like turns. Like, she becomes a sail. I mean, they're like, what, 20 foot long, ain't they?
Solid
I
plan.
haven't measured them recently.
I mean, cannibals in New Guinea have been doing that shit for like generations, so I'm going to go ahead and say it does work. Just saying.
Speaking of guineas, where's Dickie Walnuts?
He's been in and out. I think he's waiting to get home, then he'll hop on. Okay, so let's wrap this one up, and I guess we're all in agreement that it is more than likely Spike Cohen. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Next subject that I want to bring up, and
Should I keep notes and like keep score, like what we decide?
Yeah.
Tally ho.
Yeah, Britt, you got a pen and a pencil handy? I don't have one handy.
Yeah, I'm his secretary and director and whatever.
He is also my campaign manager for Voluntary Community Improvement Association president.
How's that going with your managing 204 or 40 something senior citizens?
It hasn't started yet. I haven't won yet, but I probably will. So I'll let you know when my broke ass is in charge of all these like old rich fuckers and stuff like that. It should be fun. I'll keep them in line. I'll make sure they're doing the right things.
This should be like a saga. Can't wait.
Hey, make sure they take the dentures out because gummy.
Dude, some of these houses in my neighborhood, we joke that my part of the neighborhood is the ghetto because we're just like normal houses, like ranchers and like split foyers, and then you go down
normal houses
like a quarter of a mile, and it's just like these absurd houses on the water that like They look like, you know, like picturesque, like Airbnb kind of houses. They're freaking ridiculous. And
I can vouch for that. Yeah, it looks like a real slum, guys. I gotta tell you, it's a struggle.
It's like Bernie Sanders driving around town. You see a normal 4-bedroom, like, oh, we must be in the poor people town. He just
Yep.
keeps driving as he writes his third book.
These ridiculous $400,000 houses. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not a commie. I'm not paying rent. I'm going to own my own stuff. All right. So I guess let's chalk this one up to government mismanagement, or do we call this deliberate mismanagement blamed on equity? Can we blame equity on this one?
No.
Climate change.
What you could say, first of all, this was not government mismanagement. This was not government negligence. This was murder.
So Maui is, let's write this down. It is Maui. We have determined that Maui is mass murder by the U.S. government.
Yes, based.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, next subject. And Dickie Walnuts is joining us now.
There
Yes,
you go.
he is joining us. All right, Dickie. So we determined that the Maui fires were. Oh, I got some feedback. Anybody else got feedback?
Yeah.
It's probably me.
That's
Fuck.
Dickie.
God
Fucking
damn it,
Dickie.
Dickie.
Shit, fuck. I want this fucking.
Dick.
How bad is it?
Bad.
It's pretty bad.
Bad.
All right, hang on.
It's like when the voices in my head talk.
I'll leave and try again.
You know, now that he's not gone, you can
Where'd
say
Jacob
that
go?
Dickie Walnuts.
All right. So the next one.
He had his blow up alien, so we don't know. Maybe it's daytime.
Ooh, there you go. Okay, so let's move on to the next subject, and this was actually brought up by Sanja. She wanted to talk about CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. If anybody doesn't know, which everybody should know, it is an intergovernmental organization that operates the largest particle physics laboratory in the world. It was established in 1954. It is based in northwestern suburb of Geneva on the France-Switzerland border. It comprises 23 member states. Israel, admitted in 2013, is the only non-European full member. CERN is an official United Nations General Assembly observer. And yeah, right. So I think the concern with CERN is that it's going to create a black hole that's going to suck us all into it and end humanity, right? Is that the concern, Sandra?
That's racist.
I'll let you take the lead on this.
Yeah, black hole. That's really racist. I'm not really worried about the black hole thing. Like, I'm more interested in the fact that when they fired up the Hadron Collider. However you say it.
Yeah, Hadron.
Oh, for the God particle.
2012, they got the God particle, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, and the theory is that we departed the timeline, which lines up with a bunch of like woo-woo stuff, like Mayan, calendar stuff, like 2012 happened, and then
Harambe. When
the world ended, we don't realize that we're in a different dimension or something or what, and that explains why everything is kind of fucked up.
So does
Why the
that
world now
coincide
is
with the
South
death? Yeah, does that coincide with the death of Harambe?
Harambe is
I think
2016.
I think
2016.
Possible.
Or like
He's
maybe
a
the
result of
period.
what
Yeah,
happened in 2012.
Harambe dying. That was like the signal.
Yeah.
See,
my
the,
dick's still
the
out.
universe where everything is right, Harambe lives because they never turn CERN on.
Yeah.
So what your conspiracy theory is that we are all dead. Are we all dead, or we're just in a different dimension?
I don't know. Maybe in a different dimension. Maybe dead. I don't know. Or like the simulation like rebooted and we didn't realize it or something. Like you get super weird about it, but it does. I do feel like I think about the time before 2012, and it's like, oh man, like things were like a certain way. I don't know, like there's certain memories and like people like talk about it all, And nowadays it's like the world is violently different than how it was.
Adding to it, if I may, there's a book called The Fourth Turning. And 2012 lines up with the beginning of the fourth turning because according to this book and chronological time and how it works, there's 4 turnings per major era in history, like every 20 years, every generation or so. So the fourth one started around 2012, and what if CERN was a big indicator of that?
Yeah, and like when you think about the Mayan calendar too, a lot of people mistook that and they were like, "It's the apocalypse, so everything's going to blow up." But really, what it meant, what some people think, is that it was the end of an era. It was like the end of a certain period of time.
Yes.
Everything as we knew it will be dramatically different. So it all kind of lines up, like something like God particle. Like, why wouldn't we be thrown into something kind of odd?
Well, you know what? I didn't buy a calendar last year, so according to my calendar, this year doesn't exist. And
Yeah, there you go. See? I'm not paying taxes. I didn't have this year. So, I mean, like, it doesn't happen. Now, I will say, though, I do find it kind of ironic that the Mayans were able to predict all this stuff, but not small white guys in weird helmets coming to their peninsula. Like, I do think that's kind of interesting. But, you know, I will say, esoterically, it does feel very different being in the world. But I mean, to be fair now, like I'm also 32 now. In 2012 I was not. So I mean, there's definitely a different kind of feeling there. So I mean,
like growing up a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm getting a little bald and bitter in my older age now. But the as far as that goes, I actually have a better one for you. We're just out of that feeling. Like, I joined late for the military. I actually left right before the COVID lockdowns happened. So I actually left the world as it was then, and I came back to the world as it is now. So I actually wonder if I guess this is a separate conspiracy theory altogether, but like if the lockdowns were designed to debase us from the reality that we already knew so that we would be more willing to accept the new world as it came around.
Like a mass ritual.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Well, so to build on what he was saying, I mean, if you think about it, when they turned it on, what's happened is two universes collided. So when they turned this shit on, it fucked all kinds of stuff up. Harambe dies, but in all reality, it merged it merged two timelines together, two parallel timelines, and that's why we have these things like the Mandela effect, which is like people have large amounts of people have memories that are shared, supposedly never existed. So if you think about it. Was it Berenstain Bears or Berenstein Bears? Most people growing up in my age group remember Berenstein Bears. Teachers even pronounced it Berenstein Bears. But yet we're now being told it's Berenstain Bears, which is the most obvious one of them all. But if you really look at, there's a lot of similarities to what Einstein theorized as like, you know, the multiverse, right? Like multiple universes existing in the same time period, just within different results based on human interaction. But realistically, it's possible that two realities merged. So some of our people from our reality came with us, some of them didn't, but some of them we left behind, and then they sent over. It's a whole fucking thing, man.
It would line up big picture if you think about it, right? You mentioned 1954 as CERN being created, right?
Yeah.
That was the date of 1954. So think about the leap after World War II in technologies. And as Sonja mentioned, is it Sonja? Sonia?
Sonia.
Its location, all these different powers being part of it, all the research going into it, and then a huge advance in 2012. Not to get too like Marvel-y or anything, but like a big leap, right? Like, what if a big leap happened? Something happened, something skipped, something got fucked up, something got delineated. Is what you're saying?
We got put in the South Park universe.
But at the same time, like, I know that every generation thinks that they're living in like the greatest, most tumultuous, like intense time. Like, I hate to, but we are, obviously.
Does anyone
we definitely
It's a
remember?
fourth turning.
Does anyone remember Richard Simmons wearing a headband?
That's another one.
Yes, dude. He definitely wore a headband.
No, he didn't, and you
He
can't
doesn't.
find a picture.
What?
I swear you
doesn't.
Always had
cannot
a
find a
headband.
picture of him.
That's one
in
of the
one
biggest,
headband,
most
period.
popular Mandela effects.
Yeah.
What
Do you
what's some
remember?
other
Was
ones?
it-
Let's look. I'm gonna look.
The Shazam movie, where it who was the actor?
Yeah, the black guy who plays Shazam, like back in the
Sinbad.
Sinbad.
It's Sinbad. Yes, Sinbad
Yeah,
and
Shazam.
Shazam. I remember that
Never
movie.
happened.
Yeah.
You
No.
cannot tell me that movie did not exist.
That's
I
weird.
refuse. I
It
refuse.
It was Kazam, I believe, not Shazam. Right?
Shazam.
It's
Shazam,
Shazam,
yeah.
I believe. It's Shazam,
Yeah.
What
yeah.
about Jiffy peanut butter? It
It's-
had the
it's
same
Jif.
like color, or was it
Instead
Jif?
of Jif.
J.
Yeah.
It was Jiffy.
Jif, yeah.
And like people have even like reproduced
I thought it was
like
Jiffy.
what they thought it looked like, and it was like something that people were like, no, I remember that on my shelf.
Oh, Fruit of the Loom. Remember, Fruit of the Loom had the little. I
Yes.
can't remember the name of it. But that
Cornucopia,
like
yeah.
little. Yeah, it had that thing. I remember being a little kid in my little whitey tighties and my little white t-shirts. It had the fucking little cone basket thing behind the fruit. It did it, and people were telling me that it doesn't exist, and that's another one that I refuse to fucking believe. I remember that.
Look, I'm telling you.
Wait, hold on. Time out. They think the Fruit of the Loom thing doesn't exist?
The little.
If
Like
you
not
look
just
online, it doesn't.
the cornucopia with it.
Google it.
Well, yeah, no, the cornucopia was definitely there. I do. That's one of my earliest
Look it up.
childhood memories. Is like
Yeah, look
looking
it
at
up.
it in the
It ain't
colors
there,
on it.
dude.
It's not there.
They had-
Never was.
Look,
They had commercials
Bullshit.
on it where everybody
I know
was
for a
dressed
fact
up
it
like
was.
different fruit, and they went in the cornucopia. That was definitely a thing for sure. You can't tell me
Cornucopia
doesn't.
never
you
existed,
can't
and
find it
Richard
online.
Simmons never wore a headband.
Or like
I
If you
refuse
look
to believe
up,
it.
It doesn't exist.
So
I
now
actually
we have
refuse to
CERN
believe
being
the
responsible
Richard.
for the Mandela effect too.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
That's a big.
I like it.
That's like a.
Yep.
It's supposed to be big proof that something happened.
Well, did you guys see the opening ceremony that they did for it? It was like
Yeah.
this crazy, like satanic ritual.
Wasn't it like golden?
No, I didn't see
Like the
it.
children's, like the children
Yep.
in the hospital beds.
Yep. Yeah.
That
It
was
was. It
before-
was like an hour long, and it was like the weirdest. Druid. It was like a druid ritual. It was just so strange, and it's like that doesn't make sense. That's not the time nor the place, or at least it doesn't seem like it. I guess, but
Are you implying that there are
So I have.
satanic rituals going on that are plunging the world deeper into darkness to stray us away from God's light? Because we've
Yes,
been
I
saying
am.
that for a while,
Yes.
and people call us
Yes, I
assholes.
no, I am thoroughly a believer in that. At first, it started as people are self-manifesting it. It's like whether Satan was real or not, people are putting energy into it, so it exists because of that, which is almost scarier to think. Although I do believe in the existence of like an evil, because we'll just look around. There's no way it can't.
Let me share something real quick. Let me see if I can get this to work. So this, here we go. This is what I remember. This is what I remember the label as.
Yep.
Is this
Me too.
Same here.
with the cornucopia?
Yep.
Yeah, this is what I remember. But apparently, it was always
Just the fruit.
it was always just the fruit. Oh, that's Snopes. Apparently it was just this.
No way.
This is what it was,
No.
and there's no way. But I mean, okay, let's
Maybe a
take.
misprint.
But I mean, there is. Granted, it's Snopes, but they have even said that this is false. It is a perception. It's considered a classic example of the Mandela effect, and that I have it's so silly because it's a fucking t-shirt and underwear company, but I have such a hard time believing that the cornucopia. Why would I know what this is? Why in my subconscious would I know what a fucking cornucopia is? It's from a Fruit of the Loom. That's the only reason that I know what it is, and maybe a couple pictures of like learning about like pilgrims and shit when I was like in kindergarten and stuff. But you cannot tell me that cornucopia did not exist, and the opposite of that motherfucker is not real. That is what that is. That motherfucker is real.
My mother
Let
owned
me
a
tell you
t-shirt
something.
company growing up, and she mass ordered T-shirts from Fruit of the Loom to print on, and we 100% had that cornucopia there.
Right, and why is everybody telling us that it was never there? Is this like is it
history, but it's a legitimate.
But is it like a giant psyop that they're trying to tell us
100%.
that the cornucopia never
I've got
existed?
something better for you.
legitimately?
So check this. So if you meet anyone who opposes like massive amounts of authority, ask them about these logos. I have yet to meet a single person who has like a really healthy dose of anti-government trust that they don't remember these things, like the Mandela effect and all this stuff that's going on. I think there's a correlation which would track which of us came from the original universe to this new one where logos are different. Because if you think about it, humans would be the same. like the progression and the genetic makeup would theoretically be
Yeah,
very
but there would be
similar.
just,
That's
like,
why the logos
something-
would be the same or
There'd be
very
something
close to it.
slightly off though, like a
Yes.
uncanny
So-
valley.
So if you think about those of us who like support reducing the government drastically, ask them about that because it will show you. I guarantee you, there's a strong correlation just from the people I've talked to
Interesting.
about it. Fucking nuts.
Well, here's the thing, though. Most people are generally retarded.
That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Generally,
democracy
NPCs.
fails. Go
I
ahead.
firmly believe in NPCs existing.
Oh, yeah.
it's-
They
they're
do.
just- it's a simulation. They're just, you know.
Beep up.
Something an
beep,
NPC would say.
Yeah, something an NPC would say to throw it off the say that she's an NPC.
But here's
Hello
the
there,
part
fellow
that when it comes to
non-NPCers.
when it comes to NPCs, like, do you think that it's all tied together, that society is geared in such a way, like with our work, with our entertainment, with the way that we're structured? Do you think that our society is designed to create NPCs so that these satanic rituals aren't seen, so that all of the things they're doing just aren't even recognized? Boom. There you go.
Yes, possibly.
Are NPCs promoted? I believe they are.
I think
Every
you know,
every
They would
halftime
have to
show
be.
of the Super Bowl is literally like some type of ritual, like some
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
psycho individuals running around all the time. That'd be crazy.
So we're just living in like a weird complex of like the Truman Show and the movie Free Guy, is what you're saying?
Mm.
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
And
So,
Okay.
a pseudo Orwellian world.
let me ask y'all a question. The term Mandela effect, what does it explain? Like they say, oh, that's the Mandela effect. Like that's the answer. But
So
does it
the
mean anything
Mandela
other than
effect.
you're wrong.
So the Mandela effect got its name from this whole big thing about whether Nelson Mandela died in prison or not. And so the reason they call it that, because a lot of people remember him dying in prison. I remember being taught in school that he died in prison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did an
If you look
essay
back
on
in
him.
history
He
books,
said,
he left prison to go on to become president. So, but I remember distinctly being told that he died.
Yeah, I remember him he was like almost like a martyr, right? Because he was trying to, do good things, and they threw him in jail, and he died in jail. I remember that. He was like I see. This is why I get so this is. Honestly, the Fruit of the Loom thing actually gets me the most fired up. But it's like
The Fruit of
you're
the Loom
telling
effect,
me
you got it.
something that I believe, and not that I believe, something that I know for a fact is true, and you're telling me that it never happened, like that, and no,
Same
I
with me and Richard Simmons. Why are there pictures of people dressing up as him in
with headband on,
the headband. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
like his
everyone
Halloween costume
remembers it.
comes with a headband.
Yeah, and everyone remembers him with the headband, because like some of these, like some people are like, well, I don't know, but like I haven't met a person that hasn't thought he wore a headband.
You know what else? I remember Aunt Jemima with a charming black lady on the bottle, but that's not there.
I still have one of those.
You got
do.
one? You saved one?
Yep. I've
Do you
got
keep refilling
racist
it?
syrup.
Do you just keep
Nope,
topping
no,
it up?
it's unopened.
Oh wow. Keep
Wow.
that, keep
That's gonna
that
be worth a
relic,
lot of
man. You
money
should put that
someday.
in like
"Put it in
a
glass case."
Yeah, it's gonna go in a curio cabinet.
That's worth more than gold at this point.
I will give you $500 right now.
Yeah, racist
I'm a
syrup.
dog American.
Okay, so CERN, pretty much we agree that CERN is a big old fucked up event that clashed two timelines together. Harambe
Killed
died.
Harambe.
The cornucopia disappeared. Apparently, Kazam was never a movie, and
And the Jews did it all. Israel is a part of this. Yet
And-
again,
and-
Israel is
well,
there.
there's another aspect of it. Israel
Say it
is the
with me.
only
Every
non-European
single
company
time.
that's in CERN. Like what? What is up with that? Like why
Space
was that added?
lasers, fucking. I mean, I'm telling you, man. Like it's.
there's who was I listening? Doug, you could probably back me up on this, but they looked into like that might be, I don't know. It could be a portal to hell. Could be like the center of where the Antichrist. This could be like they trace back to like
if you actually look at the Bible, this is the end times. If you
They traced it back to what town was it, and then in modern, like they translated it, and then the name of the town, it's Switzerland, and look where the head of the World Economic Forum is. Look where the head of
Ooh,
just saying that's where Davos is located.
Okay.
I mean, this could be
repent.
Let's continue this.
Yeah.
All right. So Doug is I think he's our resident Orthodox Christian. So, which in my opinion is out of all the Christian religions is the most based and probably the one that might be correct if they are correct. So, like there is text in Orthodox literature that says that Switzerland is the like ground zero for the end of humanity, or
the way that I tell people all the time is like there is nothing new under the sun. It says this in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. The evil one has progressively infiltrated our society, and I'm not trying to sound like a holy roller in the backwoods, but at the same time, I'm telling you, if you look at how our society is set up, the rituals we see, the degeneracy that is promoted, the particular kinds of degeneracy that are becoming promoted, all of the things you see are creating a more atheistic, they're creating a more debauched and a more debased society. So what you're seeing is centralized control. You're seeing people leaving their faith. You're seeing people leaving their individuality, and they're being swayed. So there's no way that you can tell me that this isn't a plan. There's no way you can't tell me that there is not an element of the evil one in this. Now, I'm open to other suggestions, but where I sit right now, it's all adding up to me. It's just a matter of time. And to me, it's not to say that I saw it coming, because I'm not a future predictor, but it was in the book. I read it. Seems more like an instruction manual every single day.
Instruction manual.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So,
I don't know why we couldn't just like lean on all of that at this point. Like I can see the failings of like a severely godless society and the fact that the government is just very happy to step in. So I'm like, honestly, like I don't care. Like I have my own faith, but I don't care what people believe in. But like, if you don't have something strong within yourself or outside of yourself, the government's just gonna come, step right in.
They're gonna fill that void no matter what.
Yeah.
The state is the most dangerous religion on the planet.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It kills more people every year than any
it's
other
a
religion.
death cult.
What about some more of those Covidians too? It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The Covidians, how do you fight the state if the state is your church? Like, that's just the way that there has to be an objective morality that you base your life on. I absolutely agree with you.
Agree.
right, and laws don't equate to morality. So
Yes, based.
I hate that.
Laws aren't real to begin with. The only people that enforce them are, and they have names and addresses.
Laws are fake and gay.
Yep.
Alex, what was this? What's this link? What is this?
Oh, that was just like the top 50 Mandela. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's yeah, that's the link.
He's sharing a recipe. It's good housekeeping.
Blueberry pancake recipe.
Yeah. I was quickly scrolling through it, and there was so many that I'm like, no fucking way. Like,
I've got my CERN notes, and I'm adding good housekeeping to it.
But there was a
Joke's
bunch
on
in
you
there
is just
that-
an entire camera roll of dick pics of his.
I meant to put that in probably the private chat, not the comments. But yeah,
Wait, where?
Totally boomered
Either
it.
way,
He boomered it. Boomered it.
But there was a bunch in there that blew my mind, like Fruit Loops, for example. Like I never had, like, we never had, like, growing up, like, it was like never sugary cereals, or like it was too damn expensive. Plus, like, I don't know, my parents we never bought those sugary, but I remember going down the aisle and it was Fruit Loops. It was 2 O's. And they're trying to say it's different. Like, all these things that I remember from a kid, I'm like, no.
No, yeah, I remember that.
So I was scrolling through like all of them, and I'm like, whoa, no, come on now.
It's a rabbit hole.
Is it not different from the generic brand though? Didn't the generic brand have the correct spelling and the fucking Fruit Loops with the 2 O's? Had
Maybe
the
that
damn
could
Yeah, yeah, they did. It was
Yeah.
the bagged one at the bottom shelf,
Oh,
which
my mic
is what.
works. Hell,
They're
fucking
saying
yeah!
that it
Finally.
never existed.
Yay, his mic works.
The double O.
Was it? It was a double O, right?
Yeah, they're
Fruit-
saying it
Double
never
yeah.
happened.
The fucking toucan was 2 O's. Yeah.
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 It's never always just fruit spelled out
Like
properly.
a massive
No.
gaslighting campaign, really. Because you start.
Yeah, that's
saying-
exactly what
Walmart
I'm
brand
thinking.
was
I remember
UI.
this.
You don't remember
remember
that?
this.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
See, I
It's
feel
a way
the
to
marketing
discredit
fit
all of
for
us.
rich kids.
It's a way to
It's like-
discredit us, all of us thinkers. I think is what it is.
Fruit O's.
People that remember shit. And I'm 31 years old, and I remember all this stuff. Like
Fruity O's.
they expect like younger millennials to forget all this stuff. Like, oh no, Fruit Loops was spelled properly in Fruit Loops. Like, no, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I remember for sure. Like, you got to think about as a marketing person, why wouldn't you spell fruit with 2 O's and loops? It makes for great marketing. It looks good on the box. You can use the fucking cereal as the letter. Like it all makes sense that it's fruit with 2 O's. Why would you spell it properly? It's bullshit.
I can't attest to this one. I remember getting Fruity O's, which was like Fruit Loops but cheaper.
It was the stuff in the bag. It was the stuff in
It
the
was like
bag
the
on the bottom
Kroger
shelf.
special.
Walmart value shit. Hell yeah.
Here's the thing, though. It probably all came from General Mills. It came from the same place. It was just
Exactly.
different
Oh, yeah,
flavors.
absolutely.
It's all the same shit.
I call it
It just fell on the
the
floor.
libertarian cereal because it's not the first brand name. It's not the second. It's the third one on the bottom shelf for like $2.
Yeah. And it's in the bag.
Look at the
It's
deals, though.
there's no box. You just get a bag. It's a big bag of cereal. And then you got to take it home and you got to put it in a reusable container,
The
or
malt-
else it goes stale in like a day.
It's all the stuff they swept up off the floor in the factory.
It's still delicious.
It's still very delicious.
Yes, it is.
Concrete Jungle was true, it would be about the cereal companies.
All right. So, okay. So, what's our determination on CERN? Do we think that it is? Do you think that is some sort of conspiracy in the sense that it's a government organized or a internationally organized group that is fucking with us? Do you think they're just trying to create, dark matter or, recreate a black hole to study it so you can understand, the point of singularity? Or do you think it was a way in order to completely fuck up the timeline of the world and merge it with another universe and pretty much get us to the point that we are now? Dickie, go ahead.
I have
Go
a
ahead.
couple questions and comments. All right, now that my fucking mic is working, cocksucker. piece
Thank
of shit.
God.
All right, so have you guys talked about the Oak Ridge portals too since I've been out? I've missed some of the
No,
show.
haven't
Nope.
touched on that yet.
Go off,
So
King.
are you guys familiar with that one?
No.
I am,
Oh,
yeah.
like
it's
Oak
like a-
Ridge, Tennessee.
Go off, King.
Tell us.
Yeah,
off, King.
yeah. So Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Okay, so it's like a mini CERN, but it's in Tennessee. So like it's what we have for CERN, but it's not as global. It's just United States based. But I mean, look
we're not
look
in
at
that
all the cryptid activity as far as UFOs, Dogman, Bigfoot, other kinds of crazy shit like that. I mean, they're trying to bring in all kinds of cryptids in there. I think they're just trying to get through to the other side because as far as a lot of locals that live in Appalachia and that area, their whole lore is there was a whole lot of spiritual people that lived there in ancient times that buried a lot of secrets within the mountains. And if they want to tie that into like biblical things, that would be flood and Nephilim and shit like that. So what my theory is that Oak Ridge Portal is like a mini CERN that they're trying to dig in and get to some of the Nephilim souls that are buried underneath the mountains. Either that or they're just trying to get to a fucking other dimension. But whatever they're doing is working because they're bringing back all kinds of cryptids that hundreds of people have seen. Like there's whole communities near Oak Ridge that have just casually reported UFO sightings and Dogman sightings and shit like that. Like it's nothing. So,
Okay, so I have
between
yes.
that and whatever CERN is, I mean, there's a whole lot of shit like that. So I think
Yeah,
they're just
so-
trying to get to the other side of the veil.
Summarizing the notes, we have a lot of parallels now with Oak Ridge and CERN, both around nuclear research, both around kind of like messing with the limits of our present dimensions, right? So I would say in some, obviously government backed. They want to know where we can get. They want to know what they can control in terms of reality. And I don't think they understood. Oh God, I don't think they understood really what they were doing or what the outcome would be, and they just kind of like started doing it. So I don't know if it was
I think some of them
intended that
do
they caused
understand.
this misalignment, but
I think some of them
No, I
don't
think
care.
there was a lot of intentional here. So have you have any of y'all studied like Enochian technology or language and shit like that?
A little bit.
No.
Okay, no. So in I think it's in like Alaska or somewhere on the western coast of the United States. I presume it to be Alaska based on some of the stories I've heard and putting together some of the general clues that they get some of the people that have given with their stories. I mean, there's been whole stories of guys that were special forces or other intelligence branches of the military going in and recovering technology and other just general recon, and them saying like, yeah, we tried to write down some of the stuff that we saw, and basically the CO there or the other scientists there that was studying with us said, don't bother. That's called Enochian, and we're not gonna be able to like transcribe any of that. So just take pictures and write down what you can and get the fuck out of here. And there's multiple people that have reported that, and then they fled the country afterwards. I know on the Confessionals podcast, there's a few stories of that, and some of the accounts actually have stories of lost time as well. So when they were on the boat going back to their base that they lived on, they were talking about lost time phenomenons and shit like that. So I definitely think the government knows what they're doing. At least some of them do. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them know just what the fuck they're doing, and they're just trying to get some secret knowledge and secret weaponry and shit like that.
It's like
I don't have a
evil
tinfoil hat to put
Indiana
on,
Jones.
sorry.
Like a portal.
Yeah.
Like
No,
Bermuda Triangle. Like what was that? The Philadelphia project that they did,
Oh,
the
yeah.
U.S. Navy did, where they.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling
I mean,
you,
there's probably a mix
there's
of
hidden
people
knowledge
that-
out there that they're
Yeah, there's
using,
a
to
mix of
Dickie's
people-
point, like as weapon systems. Like,
I mean,
they
there's
wanna-
plenty of like witches and satanic. I'm sorry if I cut you off. I'm on a
Oh, no,
delay,
no,
but
no,
there's
it's
plenty
fine.
of like witches and satanic high wizards and shit that they've openly talked about on certain podcasts and other shows. Like, yeah, I used to go to Bohemian Grove and I used to go to the White House and I used to consult with world leaders and shit about just general stuff like that. And we would help them open portals and talk to entities. If you want to believe in that, that's up to you. Based on some of the other shit they're saying, as a supernatural in tune person myself, I believe most of that stuff. So, and I like, why wouldn't they try to do stuff like that? If you're a world leader and you've already conquered most of your own domain, why wouldn't you try to seek out and go supernatural and other dimensions?
So I
as
will
well?
say,
So,
Dickie's right, man. I had a neighbor like a
Thank
few
you.
years
I know.
ago that said he was a wizard. He said he was a grand wizard, and he wore this white robe all the time.
You live in Tennessee.
wizards are real, man.
I mean,
hey, stop talking to my uncle like that, bro. That's not cool.
I knew a guy who was a grand wizard when I was a teenager, and we'd all skip school and go hang out at his house. And like the dude had a weird staff that he could make move by looking at it, but sometimes he would like make himself lactate. Fucking weird. Anyways, moving on.
That's a really weird
moving on. Like we can't.
Yes. No.
Like, hold on, we can't.
Like, I need to hear the rest of the story. Where did this come from?
No, that's it. It's like one of those things where I'm like remembering my I'm like telling stories, right? And I that comes up, and people are like, and I'm like, yeah, that's all the story. Like, there's just this weird guy, and he was kind of mad.
You mean this is like an actual story?
Yeah, we get wasted at his house instead of going to school, and he was just this really weird, probably schizophrenic guy. But he had these talking sticks, and he was a wizard, and he could just will himself to lactate this like bluish milk. And
What?
This sounds like a Dateline 60 Minutes thing.
Yeah. We were
Like
just
they should
all,
have been
like-
looking for this guy. Chris Hansen should have been looking for this guy.
Dude, this guy's amazing. And, like, he never did anything.
How much was he paying
sketchy.
you?
We were just like wasted teenager, like punk rock kids hanging out at his house. It was great. But anyway,
Hey, dude, do the titty thing. Do the titty thing.
Hey, man. Do it.
Also,
do
I was
it.
told there would be Latinas here. What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
my
They're
husband,
never there. They're never there.
my husband actually worked at Bohemian Grove
Oh, she dark
as a caterer, because that's down in Sonoma County where he grew up. And so his friends,
Especially-
they got a gig working on the catering team at Bohemian Grove. And so he was like,
Wow.
all right. So they have like a van, like you park somewhere and then they have like a van pick you up and everyone gets like shuttled into this van and then they take you to Bohemian Grove. And he said the security was completely out of control. Like you had your areas that you were only allowed to go to. He said the owl statue is totally there. You might be mad at me if I have that wrong.
Owl statue?
Did anyone
Yeah,
else
Moloch.
watch that?
Moloch.
First of all,
Yeah,
Moloch.
But he
Wait, hold
said
on.
it's,
First of
it's
all,
really a real place. It's a real place. It's super weird. It's super sketchy.
Did anyone else watch that Netflix
lactating
documentary
wizard
about
is
the
like
guy
the
who
best
kidnapped
punk
this
rock
kid
name ever.
30-something times?
Whoa, what?
Huh?
I feel like after like 5
So-
times, I feel like the security just failed at that
Toad?
point.
No, like there was this Netflix documentary. It came out about the same time as the Tiger King did during COVID. Like, and it's this story about this guy who kidnaps this little girl like 20, 30 times throughout her life. I've got a feeling Sonya might have been in this story somewhere. But she keeps getting into vans with strange guys.
Repressed
She's getting
memories.
drunk at some strange guy's house.
I've done some weird
And he's
shit.
like
Some lactators.
shooting, like bird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had a
shooting
story about
whiskey
like
out of his
being
titty.
woken up by like
Husband just casually works at pagan cult grounds. You know?
I've got
Hey,
some-
I have a question for y'all. Whenever
Bootleg,
y'all.
you want to start a punk rock band called Lactating Wizards?
Fuck yes.
we were like actually
Count me in.
cool,
Like
then
scissors.
we would have
Yeah.
done that, but no. We just thought we were.
So Sonia caused CERN disruption. Got it.
Got it.
Alan,
Figured it out.
you want to start a podcast called The
Yeah.
Lactating Wizards and we just talk about nerd shit?
It's really
Yes.
starting to come together.
I would be down for that actually.
Yeah, you know what? And,
Lactating
and one of my
wizards.
friends ran into him years later when we were adults. They randomly ran into him in Redmond, Oregon. I'm from Oregon. And he was a
That's Oregon.
Jehovah's Witness going door to door.
Was he
And that
still
was so weird.
lactating?
So, yeah, I was just
He
gonna
was
say
probably
that.
lactating while he was doing it. Yeah.
Hello.
Was he having to wear those weird pads on his nipples to keep it from like?
Nipple
If
guard.
a baby cried, did he start just
No, he had to will it. He had to like sit there and like meditate and hum in order to make it happen.
He does the Ewan McGregor voice from like
he was busting
from
through
Star
his
Wars.
titties.
He goes, "Well, hello there." Starts like
Yeah,
I think my husband.
These are not the lactating nipples you're looking for.
lactators. I like it.
You got some fucking nipple mantras.
Oh.
Holy shit. So
All
I
right,
have
so-
a question for you
We're
guys.
trying to wrap up.
Have y'all
How do we-
studied?
How do we go
I'm sorry,
on
I
from
didn't mean to
here?
cut you off,
How do we top lactating wizard
Yeah.
nipples?
I don't think we do.
I don't think we did. I think we
And
just
we're
ended.
done.
You guys
Yeah,
look
we're
Good show, guys.
The federal government is run by actual Nazis.
Yeah, put a
Well, that too.
milk pump in it. We're done.
That's not much of a conspiracy, though. That's,
No, that's not.
sound-
You're not allowed to
that-
say it's
it
not.
just sounds like what I was talking about earlier today.
All right, so what's
He probably had breast cancer. Is probably what it was. Like,
No, poor guy.
males, when
he
they
probably
have-
had some sort of infection or
That's why
something. It
he
was
was
pus
saying
coming out.
when men have breast cancer, they actually can lactate from their nipples. It's one of the side
That's
effects.
really-
And it can be a
That's-
bluish, blackish, grayish fluid.
That's really
Yeah.
sad. That's
Ugh.
making I feel really sad.
He was
about it.
schizophrenic with breast cancer.
It's probably why he took up the Jehovah's Witness thing and picked up a bicycle and,
Oh man,
you
maybe
know,
it saved his life.
went
Well,
from
this got sad.
Yeah.
And now he goes by Dickie Walnuts on the internet.
Hell yeah.
All right, so CERN. What do we put that as? Let's
Yeah.
make the determination on CERN.
Just CERN.
Pretty sure
Just
CERN causes wizards
CERN.
to lactate from their nipples. That's the conspiracy theory right there.
My nipples are
Sir.
filled with Budweiser.
Lactating wizard.
CERN was like 30 years ago in this conversation. Like, I forgot what we were talking about, CERN.
That this is where it all.
I just
See,
wanted
this
to
is
ask you guys if
this is how deep these conspiracies go, bro. They go from CERN to lactating male nipples. That's how deep they go.
Wizard male lactating nipples. And did he have a staff?
Yeah,
Infection.
yeah, and he would like get like movies.
Staph infection. Okay, that makes more sense.
Did he
Staph
wear one of
infection
those
in the
fucking
nipples.
Mad Hatter hats?
in the nipple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a culmination of all of CERN's technology. Was a schizophrenic man with
And this man.
lactating nipples.
With a
Okay.
staph infection and breast cancer that had bluish,
Oh.
stuff coming out of his nipples that he had to meditate
Got
and
that all
come
down.
to have to come out. Man, I could write a full fucking report on this right now. I'd be
This is my
Have you guys
masterpiece.
covered aliens yet?
I
Email
don't
me
think
it
I've
when you're
ever
done.
actually told that story. It just popped up in my head. I was like, oh yeah, that's
I'm-
something that happened.
Aw.
goddamn, I'm so
Well, we'll
happy you
never
did.
forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was here for
back
this.
in my brain. Thanks.
This is what the internet is for.
Next time when you're on the show next, Tanya, I'll make sure to bring it up. We can go into real deep
Completely out of
discussion about.
context. We're going to talk about agorism really seriously. How about
And
that?
we-
last
Joke's
week?
on you.
How about that lactating wizard?
Okay.
Hey, Google, order me a lactating wizard robe.
Lactating wizard robe. I like it.
It gives you little space so that your
Yeah.
chafed nipples don't rub against the robe.
Oh.
And with a +1 on the staph infection.
And just a little pinch of breast
The robe
cancer.
gives you
Who
plus
knew
one
that
staph infection.
lactation
That's
by
its
man
D&D
can
power.
so badly.
Does the staph infection give you +1 sneak, or is it -1 sneak?
I'd say minus
more of a
one just for
Pokemon
the
thing.
lactation.
minus
but
one
It
agility.
gives you -1 sneak, but +10 speech.
If there's a heavy flow, if it's a heavy flow day, it's going to create some noise.
Okay, so CERN is I would say that's undetermined because let's circle it back. I'm trying to move it on, right? Let's get away from the lactating wizard.
Just stop
So
talking
CERN, something we don't know, right? CERN, there's weird shit with CERN. We got, cornucopias disappearing.
Right.
We got
Satanic
lactating wizards.
elements.
We have,
Harambe.
weird, right? Harambe, and we have biblical elements part of it, and so
if someone finds this notebook, I'm going to prison. Like, I'm going to a psychiatric ward.
you will be forced into your local psychiatric ward.
The only thing that's certain is lactating wizard nipples.
Okay.
So
That's the one thing we know for sure that-
we're Rene Descarting this shit right now. We are not certain of being certain, but lizard
We're
titties are real.
certain.
We're certain. Yes, we're certain.
I'm
The
glad
one
you
thing
guys
I-
put that. Yeah.
The one thing I like about this is like all of us were like questioning this and questioning that, but the lactating nipple is not a single person
We're all-
question the
We're
authenticity of
We're
it
all in
at
agreement. We're sold.
I don't know
What
how
was
we
this
move on
wizard's
from there.
BMI? Like, I want to know that.
Yeah, that sounds legit.
Yeah.
I wish I had more to the story.
There's
It turns out
more.
she's just a backup dancer
Wait,
for
you
Lizzo,
said
and this
there-
is all just a fever dream.
You don't say you wish you had more to it unless you know there's more to it. So what
Yes.
else have you heard about this lactating
See,
wizard
I
nipple
had
situation?
more serious conspiracies to bring to the table to this fucking wizard with titties just popped in. Fuck him.
It always happens. Like you have to know at least one of these.
Wizard.
You have to have at least know one wizard with lactating titties. So
Not everyone have
Fucking
stories.
Mammory Merlin over
Like,
here.
what were you
Fuck
guys
him.
doing in high school?
It's not a party until
I was
lactating
apparently in the
wizard
wrong
nipple
high
pop
school.
out. Yeah.
Drugs.
I was too, but with the lactating wizard.
What up, Liz?
Liz is here.
Liz needs to go
How,
back
how
and
much
watch
LSD
the
do you have to do
lactating
to see
wizard
fucking
part.
Merlin the Mammory dude? Like, what the fuck?
Merlin the Mammory Wizard.
All right, what's
All right,
next?
we
What's
got-
next?
All right,
What's next?
all right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on before we keep talking about wizard
Don't
titties.
say it.
Yeah, this is the weirdest.
I'm so sorry, I'm new here.
All right, so this one is this is going to be Alex's specialty, and his point of expertise is the firmament / the ice wall. Alex, you take this one away. Tell us about the firmament / ice wall.
He's on board.
Oh, goddamn.
So all right. So I don't.
Let's fucking
Okay,
go.
I'm not a flat earther. Look, I got a globe back here. Okay, but there is this thing called a firmament, and the firmament is the Von Allen belts. And I don't think we ever went to the moon. I think NASA's bullshit. I think what's going on down in Antarctica, the fact that we cannot go down there, that I think it just opens up all the because I did for briefly. I checked out some flat Earth conspiracies, just be like, because I was like, I'm curious, what are you all about? But honestly, a lot of them have a total distrust for NASA. And then just not only that, but I always thought we never went to the fucking moon. We never went to the moon. I don't think we can get beyond a certain like past like man mission past the firmament. And I think that's the Von Allen belts, which are these like the radioactive like belts, like from the magnetic, basically from the poles, if the Earth is round, that is anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000 feet, like depending. So anybody that goes through that, you're instant like radiation. You're getting instant cancer. You're telling me we went to the moon that many times. So when I say the firmament, that's kind of what I mean. Like I'm not a flat earther, but like that's I don't know, man.
So you're
I
saying
think,
it's a concentration of radioactivity?
yeah, it's like emanating from the magnetic, like basically the North and South Pole. It's out
I have a
in the
question for
outer
Alex.
atmosphere.
So,
So I
you're
don't think
saying the wizard not only lactates but emanates radioactive.
I can't.
I will fuck that wizard in his titties. Fuck it.
So,
All right.
So is what
Wizard not
happened?
only
Did they
confirmed
ferment the
flat
wizard's
Earth,
titty milk
we
and
haven't
then
gone
they
to the
created the
moon.
ferment?
It's cheese. It's
Yeah.
titty milk cheese.
Yeah.
So the Earth is
He was
still round.
fermenting his milk from his lactation.
That's
That
why they
created
say
the
the moon is
radiation.
cheese.
Yeah.
That's why they
That's
say the moon is
it.
cheese.
Yeah.
And
The
they
round
launched
Earth is
that
surrounded
fermented-
by lactating.
Yeah, they
Wizard.
launched the
Technology.
fermented man milk into space to create radioactive
Right.
belts.
You know, that's
Yeah.
more legit than, the official story anyways. So
Yeah, exactly.
I have
I
a
mean-
question for Alex.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Dickie.
All right. What do you believe about the asteroid belt? Do you have a theory about that one?
I think that was another planet at some point.
Oh, you think that was Rahab?
What's that?
You think that was Planet
Deep
Rahab?
in this stuff.
Oh,
it's
like
not
that. Like
Rahab.
okay, so like a planet. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I haven't gone deep down that, but I think NASA's is full of shit. I mean, literally, Operation Paperclip. They're all a bunch of fucking Nazis. I think like the technology's there, but I think it's just a off the budget like Pentagon where they just like siphon off money.
Can I give my unsolicited dick pic theory about that one?
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
Just don't lactate.
So, yeah, don't lactate. So, the asteroid belt, I think, was Rahab, which, if you have studied any of the ancient Hebrew texts, Rahab was an ancient planet, which was actually like 3 times the size of Earth, at least. And that was the planet that Lucifer used to live on after he got kicked out of heaven, because he had a big, massive fucking dick swinging ego, and he wanted the bigger planet, which was bigger than Earth. And so whenever he was up to his fuckery, as far as like before the Earth was created in Genesis, I believe there was if you're going from a Christian perspective, there was an Earth before Genesis, and so he was up to some bullshit, and so his whole planet got exploded, and so did Earth, and so Rahab was what turned into the whole asteroid belt, because there's multiple references in ancient Hebrew texts and also through the modern Bible as well to that.
Have
So that's what I
Have
think.
you
I
read
don't
any
give a shit if
Zechariah
they're
So,
not,
wait,
but-
so the asteroid belt is a big Suboxone thing for rehab?
Yeah, for rehab, bro. So Satan
Yeah.
was a fucking alcoholic like me. So
Mm.
Yeah.
And-
No. Have you heard of that
Which
planet
I-
also being called Tiamat? That was the Zechariah Sitchin thing, all about the 12th planet. It
Oh,
gets-
like a 12th planet. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I-
I'm like,
Does it have anything to do with heroin?
yeah. Yeah.
I believe God is just a lactating wizard. Well done, Tim. Well done.
I want to go there.
I mean, yeah.
Okay,
So
just
like,
adding to
going
it, Bootleg's hat is the shape of a titty. So
back-
Beautiful titty.
nice.
Hey,
So
hey,
that's
Signs
the,
of God everywhere.
Susie, let Bootleg milk you from his titty hat.
What is that aluminum penis?
Thanks for noticing.
But I think that's the firmament. I think it's just I don't know. We don't want to go like if you want to get into like moon landing because that's one big thing I'm on. I don't think we ever fucking went. I think everything NASA puts out is a bunch of fucking bullshit. They're all amateurs. I mean, you see, like it's just a whole Pentagon. I think it's just a siphon off money for like weapon systems, military industrial complex. That's all it is.
Weapons.
Do you
I was
believe
like,
that the dark side of the moon is different than the light side?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I've seen that.
The dark side of the moon
Racist.
gets light. We just don't see it. I mean,
I've been open to like us not going the first time or a couple
Mhm.
times to the moon, and so I can make a little more room for like, well, maybe we went there eventually, but like there was a big space race, so we wanted to be there first. But man, my mom is, oh my gosh.
Do you think
Yeah.
Put that back on.
I mean, the way that
Yeah, I'm looking at hats on now because I'm so cool.
Oh,
But
yeah.
anyway, I don't know. Like maybe we went, maybe we didn't. But if you believe in the firmament, then obviously we didn't. We didn't go. I don't really know why we ever did. I don't really get it. It doesn't really make any sense why we went there.
Well,
I think we did, but we did it in different alien craft.
well, the one.
Yep,
Have you ever heard
there
of the
you
theory
go.
that the moon is an alien craft?
Yes.
There's stories where when they did land on the moon, that when the lander, touched down, there was a resonance.
It rang like a bell. That's what they
Yes.
say. It rang like a bell.
Mhm.
It's like a
Yep.
whole crazy thing. This is like, I'm sorry, but like 12 years ago, I got on the internet and I could look up anything. I learned about Hollow Earth. I learned about like the Anunnaki. Like you could go down, you could just look something up and it's like, boom, like all these results for all this crazy shit. That does not happen anymore. Like
that's why you can't go. That's why we can't go to Antarctica because there's probably it's hollow. You probably could like Admiral Byrd talk about lands beyond,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he flew over it. And
1000%.
He was talking about lesbians?
no, Admiral Byrd, dude.
I love lesbians.
Admiral Byrd, like that's the thing that's like the whole ice wall and everything. I think
French
like
lesbians,
I think
French
there's psyops and flat Earth is a psyop, but I think ultimately is like we can't go to Antarctica because there's a lot going on down there.
I
do
read
realize
that
Were they
we-
they're
storing all
storing
the
extraterrestrial
Latinas in
weapons
Antarctica?
there.
You do realize we have bases in Antarctica, and there's like towns there. It's
I
like-
read that they're
Oh, yeah.
storing
we
major,
can't go there.
like
It's not that you can't go, but it's like we
axial-altering,
can't.
space-altering weapons there. That's what
Like-
I heard, like in Antarctica.
We
Laser.
can go, but you got to be like you have to be sponsored. You have to go through government clearance. You have to be like we can't just like, oh hey, I got a couple $1,000. Let's go on a trip. Let's go.
Sure
Let's go
you can.
down there.
Sure you can.
You know
I
the
don't
kind
know.
of people that want to go to Antarctica? Those are the white people at a movie. It's like, hey, we heard a chainsaw coming from this dark room. Let's run in there. Those are the people who go to Antarctica. Not sane people who are like, you know what? It's too fucking cold. There's no land. It's all ice. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Let's
but like
not
how many,
go.
how many
I don't
people?
even care.
A lot of those,
They
a lot
could
of
be
those white
hiding
people-
like shit there. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going.
Dude, they literally have small towns there. You can travel there if you want to.
I don't know. But you have to get clearance. You can't just go down there. You can't just like,
Yeah,
and
you can.
the cost of going down there. And then if you do go, they're not taking you. They're taking you out to like. I mean, for example, my parents went on like they went on one of those like Viking cruises, and I saw online like, yeah, you could go, but you only go along the coast. You don't go like exploring.
That's
You
what
know,
No, I'm not arguing
it's
like you don't have to have
cold.
money to go exploring and have a team and everything, but you can literally
all
go
the-
down to
You
one
can.
of the villages or towns that they have there without any clearance or anything. Like it's a place you can go.
Fine, Dickie.
Yeah, I just they're hiding.
Are they
things
storing
down there.
all the big booty Nephalatinas in Antarctica? Because if so, I'm gonna pack my parka and go down there.
Yeah, they got the WAP station down there.
Please.
What about like
Bro, I'm
okay,
gonna,
so
like,
for
start spraying.
like that there's pyramids down there that they're discovering, and that they might be finding out that there's when was it? It was like I think it was when Trump was
Yes, there are
inaugurated.
pyramids for sure. 1000%.
Yeah, and there was a lot of religious leaders that went down there. There was a lot of like quote State Department, many that have made a lot of trips
video
down
about
there.
like deep underground storage facilities and things way down in the ice that are weapons, and they're also axial control things like for the planet. So like the whole weather control thing is like a huge
We
thing in
live
Antarctica.
on a halo planet. Like the Forerunners built this planet, and that's the control center. That's the control room. That's the cartographer's room. That's what it is.
I'll have to
That's the
share a link with
cartographer.
you guys. It's pretty wild because this guy, he used to work there, and he talked about the clearance he had and like what he had to maintain. He was like a maintenance guy for these huge
was it on
storage
Sean
things
Ryan?
that were underground. I don't know. I don't know names.
Nobody else
I know Sean Ryan show had one.
Chris, I'm right there with you.
All right, I got to take a piss and hold my baby, so I'll see you guys.
All right,
Why don't you
All
leave
right,
a
brother,
piss
thanks
for
and
coming
then
in.
go hold
Later,
your
dude.
baby?
see you, man.
Hold me later. Love you. Bye.
I will. Don't worry.
Oh, Sonya dropped out for a minute too.
Yeah, she's
Should
audio
go find the
only for now.
lactating wizard.
Yeah, she wanted to prove to us.
Oh
But did
yeah,
I-
bring him on the podcast. It'll be great.
I don't think we went to the moon. I think that's the quote firmament. We can't figure out how to get beyond it with our current technology, like man-made missions. I mean, and just recently, what was it? Like India landed something. I mean, dude, everything's so fucking fake.
It was a 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Like,
So-
what the fuck was that?
So
You
I wish wish Jack Casey was here because he is like a
Oh,
truly a
no, I
flat earther. He really is.
Oh wow.
And-
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Jack is the person. I will fully admit that NASA being bullshit is the best argument for flat Earth because it's
Yeah.
like what? That's the one government agency not lying to us. You
That's
know?
kind of like where, and you look at the history of like how the globe Earth. I mean, I went down the rabbit hole because I'm like, look, I just want to see, like, with an open mind, what are you all about? Let me see what this is about. And one thing that I did agree upon is like, yo, NASA's fucking bullshit. Like everything they're putting out
Yep.
there is just total fucking bullshit. And one good documentary I watched was a funny thing happened on the way to the moon, and it just talked about that you have these the Von Allen radiation. Von Allen, a Nazi that came over, a scientist from the Operation Paperclip, and there's these radiation belts that are anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000 feet, like, or beyond the Earth's atmosphere, or maybe miles. I'm sorry, miles, not feet. But so for them to carry out the Apollo missions, and these astronauts like is Buzz Aldrin still alive? Like some of these guys are still alive to this day. And you're telling me you flew not once but twice through, like,
I actually saw a video of Buzz Aldrin saying that they didn't go to the moon.
yeah, and
He
that
was
too,
like
and
speaking
in their
to a
old
little
age,
kid.
So
and in their old age,
Yeah.
they're letting shit slip. And
Right.
remember,
Real
the
quick, I
cryptic-
want to say Jack Casey's one of my favorite people because we had a clubhouse debate and he was the only flat earther. And he was like, he went for an hour with just an entire room of globetards. And he actually won because what's really funny is people who believe in round earth can't like explain it at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
He
Well, I
just
mean-
totally won the debate for like an hour. So
I will give that NASA's bullshit. I think it's bullshit. It's a high probability. I'll disagree with you. We didn't go to the moon. We don't need to. And if the belt is real, that's also I'll buy it. However, I mean, the concept of gravity was calculated, proven, everything way before NASA. Like in terms of physics and how
but
light
who
works
was it
and the
who was
shape
it
of
proved
things.
by and what is his ethnicity?
I'm going to say this. The
A
way
Nazi.
the reason I think we actually did go to the moon is because the guy who killed all those billionaires on that sub went to the fucking Titanic hundreds of times with a fucking PlayStation controller. So, I mean, if he could do that and then
Logitech.
only get killed once, it was Logitech. It wasn't even the good one. It wasn't even a brand name. It was Logitech. Anyways,
well, he did it many
It's
a
the
time.
controller you
I,
give
I
your
wouldn't
brother
trust
when
my
you want him to
COD
lose.
game with that controller, let alone
Exactly.
a fucking submarine.
my life. So I'm just saying,
It has
he
a
did it
reduced
hundreds
price
of
sticker on
times.
it.
Hundreds of times.
Well, he pulled it off hundreds of times before the diversity hires. Okay, once he
Hey.
went full diversity hire, then
ESG, here we go.
Yeah, when ESG funding came in, then that's when when he wasn't hiring actual engineers and actual submariners and etc. And like proper, when it was just like based on ESG scores. Well, so I don't know. I'm just saying, but
Yeah, that whole thing was a setup inside for that whole Titanic thing. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be real. That shit didn't happen.
Yeah, the last thing they want us to do is explore.
They paid a bunch of money to fucking disappear and act like they're dead.
Well,
Like
so
Epstein.
I don't think they ever existed. They're probably just AI generated people.
So next-
Yes.
Ooh, that's the thing.
That whole submarine just imploded, but that fucking controller was just perfectly intact on the fucking bottom of the seafloor.
Hey,
Okay.
Passport survived 9/11, bro.
Just
Yeah,
say.
and that was real too.
they found Muhammad Attah's passport.
Okay, so
box from
let's
the
talk
World
about
Trade Center.
Titanic for a second. Let's talk about Titanic. right? There were people on the Titanic who were against the creation of central banking,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So here, let's go into like an actual, like, kind of a conspiracy that we can actually kind of talk about, like that is based in reality, completely based in reality. Is JP Morgan was supposed to be on that cruise, and at the last minute he decided to not go. But I can't remember the gentleman's name, but there were like 2 or 3 gentlemen on the ship who owned banks who were against central banking planning, and they just so happened to disregard all these warnings of icebergs and run into one, and it is argued the most catastrophic maritime event in American history. So like, do they not want us going down to the Titanic to whether we can identify the people that were on there that were against central banking based off
Benjamin
of
Guggenheim, Isa Strauss, and Jacob Astor. All 3 opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve. What
Jacob Astor actually
funded. Clearly, J.P. Morgan paid off Leonardo DiCaprio to make sure certain things happened.
Well, then where does James Cameron come into this?
So here's the real thing.
James Cameron.
There was a sister ship to the Titanic.
The Olympia.
Yeah.
The Olympia.
And they
I was
switched
getting ready to go there.
Okay, well, you go ahead, actually, because you probably know, you might be better versed in it. But I know that it was switched, and that was actually like the compromised one that wasn't supposed to go out. But they're like, we spent all this fucking money on this.
Yeah, it was an insurance
scam.
fraud.
Yes, it was the largest insurance fraud scheme on the planet. Now, the Titanic never actually sank. So what happened was the Olympia was the older sister of the Titanic from the same company that brought you to the Titanic. So what had happened is the Olympia ended up being like just a problem child. It had issues here, issues there, issues here. Just there was a fucking money pit on a money pit. So the theory is that they swapped the Olympia and the Titanic in between voyages. So when they thought it was the Titanic's maiden voyage, it was actually the Olympia's like 30th or 40th trip, and they intentionally sank it. Basically, is they knew it was going to fail. They sent it out anyways, let it sink, collected the millions, even back then, the millions of dollars that they collected on the insurance. Actually, like it sent the insurance company into bankruptcy. It was so massive. And then the Titanic went on as the Olympia that never had an issue ever again after the Titanic went down, the alleged Titanic.
So what you're saying is 9/11 and the insurance fraud that happened with 9/11 has already been done once. It was the Titanic did it, so the guy who owned the World Trade Centers, he was like, "Yep, let me cash out on this. Let me double the insurance policy on these 2 buildings the day before they go down."
Yeah, Doug's point, nothing's new under the sun.
What really happened is that the Olympia crashed into the Trade Center. And
yes.
But it was flown by a lactating wizard.
No, it crashed into the World Trade Center because he was distracted by the lizard titties that he was looking at, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" And he just crashed into the fucking tower. That's exactly what happened.
And that wizard's like, "I don't know who that is, but I know that motherfucker's not real."
Jack Casey says Jack Casey's got a couple comments on Twitter, and Twitter comments don't post up there. So let me read off his couple comments.
Look, I'll pay you $10 to not read his comments.
Venmo me right now. You got 30 seconds.
My phone's the camera though. Shit.
No, that's a problem.
She'll send it to
Jack Casey wins again.
God damn it.
Oh no, they disappeared. I can't find them. Where the fuck are they? Well,
we ain't got
he's the wizard.
He's the wizard. He's
the lactating wizard.
Jack Casey did say that space is fake and gay. That's the only one I can remember.
Yeah, he's the lactating wizard. That's gonna be his next book.
Oh, and so are his books. His books are fake and gay too.
Space crash.
His next book's gonna be "I'm Jack Casey. I'm a lactating wizard."
Mm-hmm.
I wish I never read that.
And this is my story.
I have a signed copy of Jack Casey's first book, and I still haven't read it.
I would say you should try to sell it, but you'd probably lose money.
Well, I have no idea where it's at either.
It was free. You have to pay somebody to sell it.
Yeah.
No, I think I actually bought it. I wanted to support him, but not read it.
You have a garage sale, like, hey, I mean, I'll pay you $10. Take this book.
Comes back like a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Vicky, did you bring your baby? Because he got excited about
No, the
lactose.
baby's here.
I know he loves it when I talk about Nephilim stuff.
Yeah. Now I see what your walnuts did for you.
Oh, dude, first try.
Dick and walnuts.
Oh nope.
That sounds a little different.
Hi, baby.
Look at
This is
little.
baby Theo. Yep.
What up, Theo?
Hello. I love your jammies.
I like how he has like a little mini mohawk.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
losing all his hair.
He's learning so
Love
much
it.
right now.
Ask him, Sam.
Not asking him that.
Ask what?
Nothing.
Nope. Too late.
Never ask
Too late.
a white nationalist the color of his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a pretty true fact.
Bootleg said, "Why do his eyes look funny?"
Because he's a chink.
I love that baby. I don't care.
He's a good kid.
Of course he is. Look at his little jammy.
Look how chill he is. He's fine. He's great. He's having a
yeah.
good time.
What's up, homie?
Oh man, we're gonna traumatizing the human resource like early on.
Ours will be here
He's
in
gonna look back.
February, so we should start like a
Oh.
charity pool, like betting
My
on how
birth
much
month.
it's gonna weigh.
At least you're gonna have free Nikes for life.
Free what?
Free Nikes for life.
I'm just gonna. Oh my god! So I'm just gonna say I knew that Dickie's other half was Asian. That's why I made the question. But I mean, I can make fun of the kid because it came out with a better credit score than me, and I'm almost 30. So I mean, it's half white and half Asian. I mean, it's smart and good with money. So,
You know, better credit score, higher IQ, higher alcohol consumption already. You know, all that good stuff.
But why does it get excited when you talk about Nephilims, though? I think that's an interesting
Well,
question,
because look how big his head is. He's Nephilim too.
That's what I was about to say. So is your significant other? Really, I have questions.
98 percentile head size.
Heyo, gang, gang.
Gang,
Hey.
gang, baby.
I have a huge dome. It's as
Hey,
big as
buddy.
his, and he's a foot taller than me.
Travis somehow got beyond the dome, and he's broadcasting live from the moon here.
See,
Hell
I'm
yes.
not on the moon because I'm there right
He's
now.
beyond the dome.
Hi, baby.
Oh.
Replace the baby with Travis
With another
managed
one.
to get past
Yeah,
the
fuck on
firmament.
the screen with a baby
Put the
there,
baby on the
asshole.
moon.
the baby on the moon.
Put the baby on the moon.
That's racist.
Yes.
Oh, all right. So the last one that I have written down, and this one is kind of a change of pace, is the Paul McCartney conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney actually died in a car accident in like the 60s and was replaced with a body double. Has anybody ever heard that conspiracy theory?
What's the
The
name?
greatest
Like
conspiracy
Jeff or
was
something
that
like
Paul
that?
McCartney made good music.
It was Sgt. Pepper. Wasn't it the Sgt. Pepper's album? And the whole album cover was portrayed as a funeral.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
also
yeah.
included Aleister Crowley.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But
I heard they did that with
personally-
Nikki Sixx too, and replaced him with a bass double. Oh wait, no, never mind.
So I'll take it a step further. I actually believe that they not only kill these people, but they end up cloning them and just
Whoa.
replace them.
Ooh, cloning.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's just like a repeated cycle of just like the same people over and over and over again.
Puppy.
I've heard a recent one.
Like
who are some examples? Give us some examples.
Let's see if I can find this real quick.
But like Nicolas Cage, pictures of him from like 1800s, and like
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, like all
Taylor
that shit.
Swift.
Taylor Swift. Oh,
huge
I cannot
list.
stand
Avril
that.
Lavigne. Avril Lavigne.
Yeah,
Apparently she died.
ruined everything.
Yep, and she was replaced, and she's not the same. She is not the same.
That one
I
of
will
Taylor
agree,
Swift
they are
though,
not
in
the
the
same.
Satanic Church High Priestess or whatever, it is uncanny that how much they look alike. Like Taylor Swift and that Satanic High Priestess, it's unreal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Taylor Swift
yeah.
is a satanic high priestess.
Like
I
how
believe
they
in all
speak,
the
way they
Satanic
move
High
their mouth,
Priestess.
everything.
Well, I mean, Oprah Winfrey's, like she's like a kingpin of human trafficking. So
True that.
Queen pin.
She's an honorary satanic high priestess.
Nah, have you seen those shoulders?
I still want someone to disprove my theory that Paul McCartney never made good music, because I think that's the real conspiracy that people.
I'll back you up on that
Well,
one.
The Beatles are completely overrated. And
I don't
that
like
they're
the
just trash.
Beatles.
Yeah, no, that's
People say
pretty
he
good
made good
conspiracy.
music. I've yet to see that.
What's the story about like
trash.
Picasso? Like everyone hated his art. He couldn't sell any of it. So then he hired a friend to come in at a showing and like start like spending and like bidding a ton of money on his art. And then people saw that and they were like, "Oh, it must be good," even though everyone thought it was fucking awful. And then all of a sudden, his art took off.
So he was
Fuck-
actually
fuck the Beatles. I like Beagles.
So
Are you talking about Hunter Biden's art that he sold for like $20-30 million a piece?
I'd pay
Wonder how
more
many
money
kids
for
that
a
comes
man
with.
tape on the wall.
Yeah.
Is that the
I
art
mean-
he was painting while he was fucking his first cousin?
Yeah,
Hey,
I
go
think it
for it,
was.
man. I wish I was a Biden.
So after
Dude, I
all
got
this,
some hot cousins. I wish I was a Biden.
Jesus fucking Christ.
well, the guy's into cocaine. He's into illegal handguns. He could be a libertarian. Who knows?
Well, yeah, he definitely is a libertarian because he just doesn't give a fuck about shit. So
Yeah, he's a libertarian.
I'm
He's a
just saying,
pedophile.
Hunter Biden is living the American dream. This is what our forefathers wanted. They wanted you to fly around, pick up bags of cash, fuck hookers, and snort coke. That's what they planned for us, but we fucked it up.
Well, you forgot snort coke off the butthole piece.
Yes, true.
Bro.
True.
There's nothing like it.
Of your cousin
Nothing like that either.
crevice.
Is that the Biden?
who's underage.
Bring back
Was
pooping?
it
Is that the
the
Biden?
Was it the
I have
Build
stories
back
about my
Build
family
back
reunions in Tennessee, y'all.
Yeah.
I got stories.
I bet you he could afford for that poof. He'd be like, you know what, poof on purpose, right in my face.
How do you
He can
think
afford
George
that shit.
Washington won the American Revolution?
He was high on cocaine.
Washington boofed in his face, and he was high the whole war.
That's why his teeth were rotting out. All that meth he was on.
Exactly.
That's why he had dentures.
Now that's a
Mhm.
conspiracy.
I have handled his dentures before personally.
You found them.
Boof back better.
Just handle the
I'm running for
dentures.
president. I'm not old enough, but I'm running for president. We're gonna boof back better.
Oh, Liz says,
And the
Liz says, I think they're replacing any celebrity that doesn't drink baby blood or fall in line after being passed around as children. I mean, that's
So-
true. Well, look
So,
at like all.
do you guys know the only two presidents who were not at Bohemian Grove since its inception?
I'm gonna
Trump,
say Trump and
Trump is one. Yep.
Jimmy Carter.
Yep. There you go.
Damn, I nailed it.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Damn.
I think it's
Wow.
funny that Richard Nixon said, "Yeah, I don't like going there because of some really faggy
Honestly,
stuff."
Hey, he never said he didn't like going there. He just said it was faggy.
Which says a lot.
Yeah.
This is like, yo, that's
So
gay.
I have
Yeah.
a funny story I heard from that one high wizard. If y'all want to hear it about Bohemian Grove, it's kind of funny
Oh yeah.
about the Clintons. So whether y'all want to believe this or not, he didn't lactate when he said this, but when he was at Bohemian Grove, he was invited there, right? And he was kind of making his rounds because since he was such a high influence in the Church of Satan, he was doing a lot of favors for people, and so he was kind of just talking to everybody. And he saw the whole table of food that they had, and he saw a big plate of cake, and he wanted a piece of cake, but he was busy talking to people, so he didn't get to eat. And so he finally, he was going to get himself a piece, but it was all gone. And so he goes up to one gentleman that he didn't know, and he says, "Hey, you have a big piece of cake there on your plate. Is it okay if I have like a taste of that?" And he said, "Yeah, sure. Take all you want. I don't care." And he said the man had was a very handsome younger man, but in his 40s, and he had a nice Southern accent, and he shared all of his cake with him, and they were talking, and pretty soon his wife comes up, and obviously women are not allowed there in Bohemian Grove, and he didn't know he was his wife, and so this woman comes up, and all of a sudden the satanic dude, the high wizard, his security guards jump on the woman. And they apprehend her, and then the gentleman who he's talking to, his security comes in, and they get in a fight, And long story short, you know, the lady is getting apprehended and getting pulled off the grounds. And the High Wizard, he turns to the young man and says, "Hey, that's your wife, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Look, if you don't like your wife, now's your chance to get rid of her." And the guy goes, "No, man, I love my wife." He goes, "Okay, well, you know, we'll escort her out." And so they ask the High Wizard and say, "Hey, look, what do you want us to do with this lady?" You know, and he said, "Take care of her." And he said, "Okay, does that mean take care of her as in, you know, get rid of her, you know, or like take care of her as in get her out of here?" He goes, "No, look, peacefully escort her off the grounds and get her out of here." So, so they said, "Okay." And then later, the High Wizard says that his head of security later told him that all of his security team was very pissed about that because they wanted to kill her. And that lady turned out to be Hillary Clinton, and the man was Bill Clinton.
Oh,
Wow.
Because everybody was so pissed off and hated that woman just from interacting with her generally. So
I'd buy that.
yeah, no,
he also asked him for a favor, and so the High Wizard gave him a gold coin. Which, if you get a gold coin from a High Wizard in the Satanic Temple, that is, I think, the highest honor you can get, and you can call in basically as big of a favor as you can. Kind of how.
Does that
the
give
John
you
Wick
plus
series.
strength?
Like a mate, like your mate. Like your...
Yeah. So anyway, he gave him a gold coin, and and you can call in like huge favors with a gold coin, like very big. And he said later on that Bill Clinton just used that on a hooker. That was it.
What?
You're telling me that even that favor, that level of a favor, could not get Hillary Clinton elected?
Right? He said, "Fuck my wife. I'm gonna buy another underage hooker. Fuck her."
Nothing's new under the sun. It's all
Nope.
Another conspiracy is that the Clintons had their actual first daughter passed away mysteriously, and Chelsea is not their actual first daughter.
I believe that they sacrificed their firstborn to get to the level they're at now. 1,000%.
Exactly what it is.
Everybody that's that high in success and fame has to sacrifice something, and it's usually a blood sacrifice.
They are untouchable. Untouchable.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
a daughter
what
is as
did
big
they
as you can
do?
get. Look at Joe Biden with his wife. If you think he didn't sacrifice her and his daughter,
No, I
okay.
totally thought that. Yeah.
Right.
Well, what is it about Obama's daughters? They say that they're through his.
Oh, they're
like,
not rich. Big Mike. There's no pictures of Big Mike with those kids.
Wanna go there?
Big Mike 2024.
I mean, we could. I mean, I tell you what, though, like.
I don't think it's much of a
disclosure. My girlfriend's going to be very.
Did you guys
upset
see
with this
the latest news about his cook?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
What's up with
Butt
that?
naked.
Butt naked.
They found him naked.
Butt ass naked.
So, and they said it was a drowning, or like he was out.
Well,
Oh,
okay,
napping or
look,
something,
based
or-
on him, I believe it was a drowning, but I never seen that demographic go butt naked on a paddleboard before.
But that also
Yeah.
comes out at the same time as like supposedly this letter from a previous ex-girlfriend or something talking about him wanting to sleep with guys. Like,
Well, we all know
Right.
Brock is gay. So
Yeah, what's her face said it. Who's the comedian? Joan Rivers.
yep.
Joan Rivers, remember that? We all like, oh,
Mhm.
it'll be the first woman president, or the first gay president. And what was the top?
No,
well, he wouldn't be
She
the
was-
first gay. We've had
She-
Abraham Lincoln.
She
before.
was she was talking. Yeah, she was talking about her outfit for some event,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she said something about like her being a man or something, like, you know, quote unquote joking, right, as they say. And then she died like 5 days. Bless you. Bless you. She died like 5 days later or some shit like that. Like went from like, you know, doing an hours long program for some red carpet event to being dead in 5 days after she said that. Sure, it's just a coincidence.
Right.
It's absolutely a coincidence.
Wait, what was
Well,
that thing
You wanted to
about,
weigh in, Sonia.
You guys remember how like Anne Hesh like sped down the road and like blew up in her car and
Yeah.
like she was
Yep.
about to do
Mhm.
a documentary,
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
right?
Well,
It's I mean, all this stuff's normalized now too. Like we hear
I
about that,
think-
we're like, oh, that's weird.
Well, yeah, I think it's
the
part
more,
of
the more someone sacrifices, look at the Clinton hit list. I mean, it's endless. I think the longer their hit list gets, the more untouchable they are because they're putting more and more blood sacrifices to whatever entity is helping them. That's just my 2 cents on that.
So let me change gears a little bit. What if I said that the LP was a government psyop to keep all of like the anti-government people in one group, and they can watch us. That's why no one ever wins elections, because only the government-controlled people run for office.
Dude, I'm right there with you. It could be very well that we are part of the controlled opposition.
And we're running the psyop for them.
We are the psyop for them because we're so autistic. All of us.
I was just gonna blame autism.
That's the best and worst psyop I've ever heard.
Tactical autism, first of all.
Well,
and there was a guy for the J6 trials that literally got off because he was autistic. So we have now we have evidence, and we have a prior case that you can get off from doing shit like that for your tactical autism.
Retarded, so.
Yeah, I'm not autistic. I just have borderline personality disorder, so I'm gonna figure out where that leads me as far as trials.
You don't know what my kinks are, Alan. You don't know what I get off to.
No, it's a very.
I mean, I'm one of them.
Your cake is right here.
That is actually.
Pull my shorts up.
Does anyone else remember when Angela was saying that she had attempted to get FOIA requests about any involvement that the federal government has had with the LP?
I vaguely remember that, yes. And
Serious question. Is she retarded? Okay. I wasn't being mean. I honestly wasn't being mean. I wasn't being mean. That was a serious question.
She did go full retard.
I just think she's in over her head a little bit, and
she's a woman.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I think we overestimated her ability to lead. That's just my
okay. That's fair.
I don't think entirely. I think it was a lot of the people around her as well.
That too. There's a lot of.
Oh, so she gets the Trump excuse.
But going back to the going back to the FOIA request. I mean,
I'm sorry. I don't give a shit.
I do. I do think like there are to bootlegs thoughts on this. It's I don't know. I've been like involved in this. This is like maybe I don't know various degrees throughout my life, like involved in the LP, and it's like it would totally make sense for the feds to come in and infiltrate and operate in some sense. So
they do that.
Not
that
even
is
infiltrate. They created it.
Yeah, we're like self-sustaining. Now.
They created it. Yeah. They're not even here.
They got us all networked. They got us all networked. When social media happened, it was the best thing they could possibly wish for, because now we're all in one fucking group. And we're all hanging out together. We're all networking it. We're on a fucking podcast talking about lactating wizards instead of getting people elected. Fuck elections. There's fucking.
That's true.
You know what
but
I'm saying?
and you got to think like, okay, so like I had the FBI come to my house off of shit that I said because I'm like a libertarian, right? I was very angry last summer, and since COVID, pretty much very angry, right? So they came to my house, and they probably knew that the first thing that I would do, because it was it freaked me out, right, was I would message people, right? Right after that happened, 3 people that are on this podcast right now are like the first 3 people that I messaged of what happened, and what more to freak the fuck out of somebody than to somebody who, like, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I know a good bit of people throughout the country, right? And for me to be freaked out and message the people that I am closest to as far as like liberty shit goes, and I message them, and I can't speak for y'all that are on here, and I don't want you to out yourself, but I'm sure that it kind of freaked you out too, knowing me who I am, that I had the FBI come to my house. Of all people, the FBI came to my fucking house, and that it scared me, right? Yeah, I was worried about the fucking feds knocking in my door and fucking ripping my house apart, and they knew that I would tell people, right? They knew that I would tell people. They knew that I would tell people, and that it would scare them, and that it might bring them back in line because they don't want us going to that next level. They just want us to remain as politically active libertarians so they can keep us in a bubble. They don't want us going outside of that bubble, right? And there are groups.
That's why
Right, they don't want us going outside the LP firmament.
See the wizard lactating.
Yes.
Right. They don't want us to see the liberty. They don't want us to see the lactating wizard. They just want us to see the wizard through the firmament.
First of all, hold on. Side note: if the feds or any alphabet agency ever knocks on your door, you have the lactating wizard answer it for you.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Federal Agent. My AR-10 identifies as a lactating wizard. You have to excuse him.
Hey, look at this. Check it out.
The difference between actual liberty actions, because I'm involved. I'm the public policy board secretary for the LPO, the Libertarian Party of Oregon. So I'm doing politics, right? But at the same time, I'm like a fervent agorist. Like the I don't want to engage in politics at all. I want to do counter economics. I want to decide. We're totally playing into their hands. That's where they want us. It's very safe. It's like the same thing doing protests. They're like, yes, go protest. Yes, go scream. It's very cathartic. Yes, go home afterwards and pat yourself on the back and be like, yo, good job. We fought for liberty. Anyway.
See, I actually.
So you're telling us to leave the LP. Got
it. Here's why it makes sense. If you look at the LP, there's two sides. There's a left side and a right side, and the left side and the right side keep fighting. That's why nothing ever gets done to change anything. Yeah. That's why I know it has to be a government psyop, because why the fuck else would people fight over the dumbest 1% of shit ever instead of agreeing on 99%? That's why they're fighting each other. That's why the LP is a psyop. It's a government fucking CIA.
So
psyop.
the greatest psyop was the psyop we've made along the way, is what you're saying.
We are the psyop
along the way.
I made one hell of a psyop right here.
They don't.
Hello, little psyop.
They don't have to create the psyop. They literally just need one person to come in and just set ablaze. They don't need to control the whole thing. They just started the fire. That's it.
I mean, that's a good point, because look at Nick Sarwark. We still talk about that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This guy that came out of fucking nowhere. His dad owned a fucking used cars lot. He was a used car salesman in, I can't remember where, somewhere nowhere near DC, and then came out of fucking nowhere, became I think he was the chair of the Libertarian Party of Maryland, if I'm not mistaken, right, Travis?
He was, yep.
He lived everywhere where there's a big old military base. So
right, and then look at what has happened to the LP since his chair. It's just progressively gotten more and more contentious.
He's gonna move to Israel soon.
Yeah, he also doesn't know how to walk.
Parallel,
oh
my
God. Parallel it's a safe place. It's why
there's a left and a right.
I tried to play with the Republicans. I yelled at them not doing flag waves, and that it was just controlled opposition and just standing there and patting themselves on the back and waving a fucking flag. And they drove me away. But it's the same thing. It's safe for people to go and be mad and then go home. That's it.
Right. So, but even within that, so the main government, the feds, they rely on the duopoly to keep everyone elected, right? They have the Republicans, the Democrats. They've created the same situation in the PSYOP so that we're constantly fighting each other. They use their model in the PSYOP.
I think they've done that lately, but up until now, the MC and everything, before that, they always just kept an eye on us. And when things started going too well and everything, they would end up having a random candidate out of nowhere talk about age of consent laws. And then it's just knocks us back down, because I don't know about you guys, but anytime that ever happened, those people came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
who is their front runner right now for president?
I don't care.
Melvin the giraffe or whatever the fuck he looks like.
Oh, first of all, the new third party. Hey, wait, hold on, guys.
Hold on.
The new third party that you should support is the gang party. Goons against national government. That is the party that you should support right there.
Yeah.
Listen,
That is why the FBI came to my house.
I don't care who wins the third-party nomination as long as they install me as king of beers and I get to take over Anheuser-Busch when they're in power because I want to restore them to
I
glory.
just want to say, Grace Galactica said anyone who supports the Boogaloo movement, I'm sorry, the Igloo people, we're all feds.
The Inuits.
So we have.
The giant grifter.
We have to make sure we follow by her rules, which mean that we can't be, gang shit.
Like no Hawaiian shirts?
Yeah.
No Hawaiian shirts.
That's what she said.
Shit, we're all fucked.
That's fucking bullshit. I've been wearing Hawaiian
Talking about Magnus Panfetia again?
No, this has nothing to do with Magnus.
Oh, haven't seen him in a while.
Honestly,
whatever happened to him?
Oh, he's laying low. He's laying low.
He's working with Big Pussy Pump and Sarah for the feds of Newark, New Jersey.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm just talking shit. He's cool.
I heard he was designing new flashlights that you could put on the end of your rifle that will work as suppressors.
No, that was
a binary switch.
That was print, shoot, repeat. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Adam and Eve in conjunction with print, shoot, repeat.
Didn't it work a little bit? I watched those.
It does. I cannot confirm nor deny, but it does work.
You can't use
one. Adam and Eve, you can sponsor this show if you like.
Did they repurpose those Honda Civic tailpipe ones and put them on ARs? Is that how that works?
No, it's just a straight flashlight on the end.
Direct blowback. Okay, cool. I like it.
It keeps it nice and quiet, just like you want to keep your flashlight nice and quiet from anybody else you know that you have one.
Wait, nice. Y'all want to keep yours quiet?
Yeah. Well, not when I'm using
it. I want my Hispanic neighbors to hear it.
You using it?
So really, when you put it on there and you take you shoot, it sounds like this goes. And then
so it's a Suppress 22.
Subsonic.
No, I know how it sounds.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Okay,
so if the LP is a psyop, then where the hell is my government check?
I think we have to get a little bit more extremist.
You're too fucking stupid to get a check, bro.
Hey, Jack, I'm a better writer than you. How about that?
Hey,
that don't mean
shots
shit.
fired.
You're still the psyop.
I'm just kidding. Jack's cool.
So I too am waiting for my armored Toyota Hilux.
I think it's just because I'm not willing to.
You're not brown enough.
It's not that. I'm not willing to do the things that they give those toys to.
I mean, a couple months ago, I went and got a spray and no Hilux showed up.
Well, when they came to my house, I was expecting a Daniel Defense rifle. I was a completely Gucci'd out Daniel Defense rifle, and they didn't give it to me.
I had to make do. I just bought like a Daniel Defense buttstock from the gun store, but I also bought a prayer rug, and so I put it eastward 3 times a day, and I think my Hilux will be coming in about 2 weeks or so.
Look, I'm just saying, I don't know who said it, but I will tell you, I will do some really questionable shit for a full auto belt fed M240 Bravo. Like, there's not a lot I wouldn't do. So if you're listening to this and you want to sponsor the show and do some shady shit, let me know.
I'm broke enough. I have to get the I got to go for 243 because I'm a little broke and I need the cheaper ammo. However, I do have a spare dong laying in my nightstand drawer. I can throw on the very end of my AR, and then I can make a true Daniel Defense clone.
Yeah.
Just as far towards the barrel as I can, right on the edge of the muzzle.
Okay, so
I absolutely despise how they put those fucking foregrips on there. By the way, I just had a gripe about it.
So, side note, I had a campaign a while back. It was called "See a Hole, Fill a Hole," and it was
my motto.
Find potholes in your local area that have not been filled by the city. What you do is you cut it out a little bit, and you get a bunch of rainbow dildos, and you throw them in there along with some solar lights, and you fill it with clear urethane. See a hole, fill a hole.
That's how you get bubbles on your truck tires.
Yeah, but that's how you also get the city's attention with rainbow dildos and solar lights and potholes they can't fix.
I have a side note, funny story about that if you don't mind me sharing. So you know how every city was putting like different African flags and BLM in their street crosswalks and shit during the Summer of Love. So
bacon, mayonnaise, and lettuce.
Yeah. So oh, bless you, buddy. Yeah, you okay?
Bless you.
Downtown Pensacola, where I live, we have one intersection where they still have. It says Black Lives Matter, and it's all in like different. Each letter is in a different color of an African country flag, and it's. But the best part is it's on one street, and on one side they're gentrifying the fuck out of it. Like they're building some brand new, nice condos, and they're getting moved in with like Navy colonels because Pensacola is a naval and air town, so like rich. Officers are moving into there, and like on the other side are just dilapidated, nasty ghetto like houses that are about to get torn down.
So the barracks.
It works for France,
much, but
so it'll work.
But it's like it's about one block clear of the local synagogue too. So like there's like the nicest synagogue in the whole city is like right there, and just right without out of sight of that is that.
Real quick, Sonia has to leave. Sonia, thank you for joining us.
I'm not correlating, by the way.
We're about to wrap it up, I think, anyway. Thanks for coming, and I hope this doesn't deter you from coming on my show again, and we can talk one-on-one about actual Agar's stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about lactating wizards.
Yeah, we'll go more in depth.
Yeah.
So everybody, look for the next episode. It will be about lactating wizards in depth. So Sonia,
formulate a free market around it.
Good, that's great. Start selling that lactating wizard nipple juice.
Sweet.
So Sonia, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it, and I'll definitely be in talking with you. Try to have you on again.
All right.
We're gonna get a T-shirt about lactating wizards.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it made.
I was gonna make stickers.
We'll get a T-shirt made. I'm gonna text my guy tonight. And we're gonna have it here soon.
I want to see it.
Lactating wizards.
Yep.
I should get royalties.
I'm leaving. Goodbye. You guys are awesome.
Goodbye, Sonia. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Okay, so we agree that
randomly, we've got a massive storm rolling in. So if
Yeah,
we disappear.
There's crazy
lightning
outside right now. So.
I actually have like family over my house right now, so I need to start wrapping it up too. So we agree. It went from Paul McCartney to the LP is a giant government psyop. So I think we've just about covered a good bit of things, right? In only 2 hours, right? Because let's be honest, we could talk for days about this shit. So does anybody else have anything they want to bring up? Because we've covered Jewish space lasers, we've covered the firmament. What else have we covered? We've covered CERN and everything that comes with that. And we covered Paul McCartney, which somehow just ended up to the LP being a giant government psyop. So does anybody have anything else they want to add to this conversation? If not, think about it, and we can do this again.
Are we going to talk about how everything from the Roswell crash was taken from there, went to Oklahoma Air Force Base, and then was taken to Wright Pat and inspected for 5 years straight?
A loud fart.
Yeah, I think we need to do this again.
Yeah, I think we should do this again.
Word.
What do you guys think?
About giants yet? I haven't.
We haven't talked about we haven't talked about giants. We haven't talked. We have so much more shit we need to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So
superpower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no secret superpowers. No, this isn't OnlyFans. So we can get.
I'll give you a sneak peek if you want.
Look, I've already been banned off Facebook 13 times. I don't need to get banned off of everything else at this point.
13. Amateur. I'm on my. I just lost my 60-second account on Facebook.
Nice. I just want to say this before we go. I know 2 things for certain. Everyone needs to go follow the Free State Pod on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. Do all those things. But before you do that, you should go follow Not a Real Podcast on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.
What a cool shout out,
The second thing I know, I know, shameless. But the second thing I know is that Dickie Walnuts has fucked more minorities than Kamala Harris did in California. So that's all I'm saying.
Well,
Never
technically
ask a
she
white
didn't-
supremacist the color of his girlfriend.
Technically, she more was a Monica Lewinsky kind of gal where she didn't fuck him. She just,
Hey, cigars were involved, okay?
All
she
right.
was on Montel Williams' side hoe for a while too. So
Montel Williams also had my family on a show before, so that's fun.
Send us that link, and I want to watch it.
So next
Picture it
episode,
didn't happen, bro.
Not doxing myself, bro. Fuck you.
You already said enough. I'm gonna find it.
Good
All
luck.
right, let's go round robin and wrap this thing up. Travis, you had anything you want to say? Anything you want to add? Any plugs or anything?
By all means, come on, check out Libertarian Party of Maryland. We're on Twitter, Facebook, everything but TikTok because that's also a psyop. That's all I got.
Alex?
Yeah, everything Travis said. Crab Feast, September 30th. Come on out and follow Punk Rock Libertarians.
Hell yeah. Bootleg and Susie?
Yeah, we do shows Thursday night and Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Thursday night I do my cringe show, and then Sunday nights we do Bootleg and Susie. Follow us. But in all reality, if you're looking for real change in your community, vote for Brian W. Kumholsky. You need to come in as Holsky, and vote for him for HOA chair because nothing says Fed like voting for an HOA chair.
It's not an HOA. It's a voluntary community improvement association.
So it's
okay?
an HOA that he volunteered for. So
Also, hey, invite me on your show so he lets me out of the kitchen again.
There you go. I'll just have Susie on. I'll just have Susie on next time. Bootleg's not invited next time.
she's not getting out of the kitchen.
I'll do it from the kitchen.
There's no internet in there.
Dickie, you got anything?
Yeah, so first you can find me on chingonaslatinas.com. First of all, you can also find me on Twitter at pine_barons. You check out my books, The 19th Amendment and Its Consequences, and The Patriarchy and Its Accomplishments, which is the sequel. I make cool videos. I actually made a cool McCain video last year, and I recycled it this year. I reposted it there, so check that out if you're not familiar with it. If you want to have me back on so we can talk about giants and other conspiracy, supernatural bullshit, then you're welcome to do that, but continue at your own peril. And Teddy, you got anything to say, bub? That's what I thought. All right, cool.
Tell him, baby.
Alan?
Well, first of all, Jack Casey, fuck you. This is my voice. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, fuck Jack Casey.
Fuck Jack Casey.
Fuck Jack Casey.
And you can find me on Twitter at Alan_Lemp. Follow Anti-Politics Podcast because we're pretty fucking cool and based, and we do cool shit like have cool people on, and all
Talk
that
about
kind of
smoking meat.
Based.
My meat was smoking last night.
The meat smoker.
Don't get me started on my barbecue. God damn, I love the barbecue. But other than that, yeah, drink your fucking water.
Alan, let's talk after this.
Yeah,
Dry fire. Practice dry fire training.
Dry fire
No,
training.
they're doing meat smoking practice.
Yeah, meat smoking practice, dry fire training, 2 to 3 times a day, 10 to 15 minutes each time. I do 3 times a day with my pistol. I do twice a day with my rifle. And take care of your fucking community, people. First of all, take care of yourself. Then take care of your nuclear family. Then take care of your extended family that's local. And then take care of your community. You cannot do any of the fourth, third, or second things if you don't take care of yourself first. And
take care of your tortas.
I would like to end it with fuck you, Jack Casey. This is my voice.
Jacob.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Rise to Liberty. You can find my podcast pretty much everywhere. I figured at some point in time it's going to get taken down, so I'm going to put it out as many places as possible. I'm actually working on some really intense, cool things that I was going to do. I was going to put a compilation together of and put it all on a cassette and just fucking
nice
send it out.
Fuck's a cassette.
Exactly. So, pirate radio options, all kinds of stuff. The biggest thing I got to say is take care of yourself, take care of your health. The LP is actually not a political party. It is a revolutionary movement. And if it was going to be successful, we would actually band together and make liberty enclaves. Fuck being a part of this corrupt system that's not going to fucking do anything for us. It's already ruined. We need to build something ourselves, and that's a peaceful way to do it. And we could do that together, and we could do it with Monero. So without privacy, there's no freedom.
Gang, gang.
Man, I need to get you on my show. How do I get hooked up with you?
What?
I have a question too. Whenever he's done,
Go ahead.
Alan, where you from, bro?
I'm in the Ohio area, man. Around
Okay, I was
Cincy.
just wondering because of the barbecue.
Yeah, I'm a big barbecue guy. I do a lot of Texas style barbecue with my own twists.
Okay. I'm from North Carolina, so I like me some barbecue too. But there's a lot of haters out there.
Carolina barbecue's the best.
The only barbecue that matters is Memphis style.
No, fuck off,
fuck
dude.
you.
Shut up. Shut up.
Fuck you.
Shit's way too
First
sweet.
of all,
Shit on funeral potatoes.
There's a reason why Tennessee has a high obesity rate. We make better food.
Mississippi has the highest.
Welfare.
Well, they still
my family was from the Appalachians, so they had similar to barbecue to the Carolinas. So
But also,
that's where I'm at.
Kept them alive.
Tennessee,
Memphis is
where
west.
mayonnaise is spicy.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah, it's true.
You can ask Brian.
White
American.
White person taco night.
You can ask Brian Bootlegger. They've all seen pictures of my barbecue, and they know what I can do and what I do on the grill and the smoker. But
I'm just saying.
Me and Alan Limp are gonna team up one day because
I
some of y'all have seen my Cuban sandwiches.
In the Appalachian
Oh, I fuck with some Cuban sandwiches.
You never seen a white boy make Cuban sandwiches like I do. Travis can he can back me up, right? Those are some fucking dang sandwiches.
It's all about
There's only
bread,
two people
though.
on
It's
this
all about that
podcast who
bread.
live in the Appalachian Mountains, and one of them's seen a Wendigo.
I've never seen a Wendigo, but I've seen hella demons. So does that count?
No.
Okay. Well, fair play to Alan though. The one time I had barbecue in Ohio, it was in Cincinnati, and it was pretty good. It was Texas style too. Whoever made it, so.
It's pretty good, not really good.
Mine's better. I can't actually
I'm
go.
sure.
I can't go get barbecue at a restaurant or go get steaks or anything like that anymore because I just do it so much better.
I feel you, bro. That's how I am moving to Florida. Like Northwest Florida is dog shit barbecue. Literally, the best barbecue is Sonny's, and that's sad. So,
Hey, Alex, I think you should put your money where your mouth is and send me some barbecue, and I'll be the judge of it.
Send us your man meat.
Yeah, send me your meat. I want to put your meat in my mouth.
Everybody wants my meat.
I'll be the judge.
Everybody wants my meat in their mouth, and you guys are happy to come visit, and I will eagerly and hastily put my meat in your mouth.
Aggressively, even.
Aggressively.
Calm down, bub.
Well, everybody, on my tinfoil hat.
And you guys will love it. I know you're salivating thinking about it right now. So,
hey, Brian, next time we do this, I'll bring some Mormon stories.
Hey,
All right, cool. All right, everybody, keep your tinfoil hats because we're definitely going to be doing this again. This is Free State Podcast. This is probably the craziest fucking episode I've ever done for sure, and we will be doing it again because this was a blast. You can follow Free State Podcast on Twitter and like us on YouTube. Subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter X, BK2 for Maryland. And, yeah, we're going to do this again for sure. And if you're watching now, Jack Casey, if you want to come on next time, let's plan it out. Because I want you on, Jack Casey, and maybe we can get some other people on. Maybe I can have up to 10 people, so we can fit another person or two in here. And
you need that Windusy. The Windusy.
Yes.
If you don't know what Wendigo is, you just don't know Windusy.
Also, September 30th, come to the LPMD Crab Feast if you're in the area. $60 for individuals. Come on, we're all right. $60 for individuals, $100 for families. That is including your pretty much grown-up children if you have them. Just come out, hang out with us, eat some crabs, and with that, I have nothing else. Y'all, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Come eat some crabs. Come on, come eat some crabs, and
Free souvenir
we'll see.
of Tijuana.
There you go, and we'll see you guys next time.
Gang, gang.
Love you. Bye.
Gang, gang.